Well, hello and welcome to episode 60 of the Yorkshire Gamer Read Big Wargames podcast. And today it's going to be one of those podcasts within a podcast where we do our Brews in the Binyard. And if you've not listened before, this is a lot looser than normal, a lot less formatted than normal, a lot more swearing, and a lot more fun, I think is probably the best way of putting it. It's kind of twice a year I let the hair down and I get a group of guests on and we just chat about wargaming in general and have a good laugh and a joke. And this is the ninth time that we've done this now, or the ninth episode. I've split some of them in half in the past, and everyone seems to enjoy them. So I certainly do. It's good for me. It's nicer to have a break from the regular format of the show and just do something where we can just let our hair down and literally say what we want. So don't listen to this in front of your children. I wouldn't listen to it in front of anyone, to be fair. But there you go. It's your choice. But just to make you aware, there is a little bit more language and jokes, etc., in this episode. If that's not your bag, then hang on and wait for the next episode, which will be one of the regular War Games type shows. Last episode of Pete Brown was well received. A lot of people really enjoyed listening to Pete. He's a lovely character, and we had a great chat. So if you've not caught up with episode 58 yet, 59, give that a go and see how you get on with that. Just a little thing that's going on at the moment, which is the World Cup of historical war games miniature manufacturers, and you will hear the draw for the competition in the third part of this episode, and you'll hear it mentioned throughout. Now, I'm just coming to the end of the first round on the day that this is released. So if you've not got into it already, then the Yorkshire Gamer Facebook page is where it's all going on. And as I say, we're just coming to the end of the first round with 8 games, and we've had a draw, would you believe? So I'm going to have to make up some sort of penalty shootout for that. But the voting has been really strong, and we've had about double what we had last year with the World Cup of War Games rules. So everyone seems to be enjoying it. We're having a right laugh and a joke, and the Perrys will be in it soon. You're going to get that joke fairly soon. So, sadly, Sean Clark couldn't make it. Last minute family issue, unfortunately for Sean. Hopefully, he'll be around for the Christmas brews in the Binyard. But I was joined by Alex Sotheran and Iain McDonald from Flags of War. And sit down. I wouldn't have any sort of hot drinks open nearby you just in case you need to have a laugh. You might spill something. Enjoy it. Without further ado, here's the interview. It's summertime, and when sensible wargaming podcasts will be telling you all about the latest 10-figure skirmish game or trying to pick a faction for a new ancient thing. You know the one with the elephants, that one. We are here cleaning a space in the communal Binyard to bring you tonight's show. So it's out with the half-filled containers, takeout containers, and in with some chairs. Out with the smelly discarded wet pallets and then mouldy pads, and in with some rat droppings. The fire is lit, mostly to keep the wasps away, and we're ready to go. So join me tonight on this biannual podcast with 2 of my regular 3 co-hosts. And in the green waste bin corner, as ever, is our resident star of the Utubes and now brand ambassador for Warlord Games. We'll fucking get to that in a minute. And of course, it's our very own Alex Sotheran. All right, mate?
I'm doing Kenny. All right. Thanks for having me back after, 6 months? I can't believe I'm still here. Keep coming back to this. I mean,
I know.
Give it a few hours and I'll be begging to finish.
Fuck me, you should see the questions we've got. There's loads of them.
I've seen them. I've seen them.
It's like, I haven't got any questions. I better put a post out for them. Jesus Christ. Everything's coming.
You never learn.
Nobody ever asked me PIN number, though. They're not fucking clever enough, are they? Simple as that. Anyway.
I can't remember mine.
Do you know your birthday? Right, in the bluegrass recycling bin, still a bit hungover from last night's disappointing exit from the European Football Championship. I could see a tear in his eye. He's our one and only expert on all things Jacobite, all things flags, and not just the ones in your driveway. It is, of course, Iain McDonald. Hello, Iain.
How you doing, guys? Thank you for having me back. I'm actually quite stunned he's asked me back, so thank you.
You know, you're an integral part of the show now once you're on.
That's it. You're in. And we don't need a translator this time.
Yeah, and like we did with Alex, we'll lock you in the cell for a few years, and you'll come out and you'll be a better person for it. You're a better person, Alex, after that time.
Absolutely. I mean, Stockholm syndrome kicks in pretty quickly, and so don't worry about it. You'll be looking up to Ken before you know it, worshipping him. You know, that's where I am at this point, and I'm proud of that. I am proud.
Wearing flat caps, walking about with a whippet.
Exactly. You'll never get a passport, though. You'll never get a Yorkshire passport.
No. Special reserve.
Always be a blower.
So, Alex, we'll start with you as usual, mate. How many billion subscribers are you up to now?
I wish it was billions because I'd be able to quit work. I don't know. Last I looked, it was about 13,000 and a half, I think. I can't remember exactly.
13,000? Where are all these people coming from?
God knows. I don't know. Honestly, I've got no idea.
You've run out of family now, haven't you?
Yeah, pretty much. That was 12,000.
12. Okay.
We have big families down here in South Yorkshire. So yeah, I don't know where the other 1,000 have come from. No, honestly, I don't know. Don't know where they're coming from, but they keep coming. So I'm not going to turn them away. Yeah, I've got an open door policy. I'm not bothered. Let them all in.
Yeah. Well, me and Martin from Seventh Son did a bit of recording with you. Has that been out yet, or
not yet? I'm sitting on it for a bit. I did edit it. It is edited. It's uploaded on the channel. And we did a chat about historical wargaming, didn't we, Ken? You'll remember that. Yeah. So I thought I'd talk to two people who know nothing about it, and that was you and Martin from Seventh Son. So I'll teach you something a little bit, I think. And so that was about an hour and a half or so, I think. But yes, it's going to come out soon. Probably in the next few weeks. I've got a little bit of a backup of videos made ready to go, so that's one of them. So yes,
it's like one of those yellow books you used to get, Historical Wargaming for Dummies.
Exactly that, yeah.
By Alex teaching Martin and Ken.
Exactly. Well, I think you two taught me some things, to be fair. I'm not entirely sure what, but you certainly taught me something.
You cut
Probably
that
never
out,
to do
didn't
it again, I think. That was the main thing I learned from that.
Oh, he's gone.
He's gone.
Sound's gone.
Oh, you disappeared there a second. I'm back again.
He's back again. Back again. Dodgy internet connection.
Was that me or was that somebody else?
That was you.
That was me.
Back to me.
Right, give me a second. See if I can. Let me see if I can do this through my mobile hotspot.
Oh, right. While you're fucking about, Iain, how you doing, mate? What's? I think Flags of War was moving offshore last time we spoke.
Yeah, I moved to the Bahamas. Man, I'd hate the Bahamas. It's too warm for me.
Yeah, exactly. I'm baking in the
sweat. Light bulb.
I'm burning it up like it's a sweat box on bloody Bridge on the River Kwai at the moment up here in the loft.
Yeah, so the distribution of the business all went to Sarisa, and it's been going great. Yeah, it's been brilliant. It's freed up a lot of my time. I, unfortunately, had some hard drive issues, which has taken up a lot of time to try and resolve, and also mentally as well to try and get back into it with the disappointment of losing some stuff. But yeah, it's been really good with the Sarisa thing. As many knew, I've got some young kids, so try to focus a lot more on them and not just printing orders all the time has been good. I've not been able to fully see the benefits yet as to producing more in terms of flags. I've got a lot there, but as I said, I had some hard drive issues, so it's kind of taken a hit on that. But there's a lot to come, especially on the miniatures front. Lots. I've literally got tons of miniatures sitting here that some people haven't even seen.
Ah, superb. So are Sarissa doing the whole shebang then? Are they printing and packaging and sending out? And
they
they're doing everything?
I still do all the business side of things. They just they send out all the orders, and I'm obviously still answering emails, queries through the social media platforms, etc., and then try to come up with new ideas and just letting those guys when they're coming out and working with them. And that's pretty much, as I say, it has been really good. I just hopefully start to see the benefits of it soon. In terms of it's more the focus. So I was doing things like pretty much had written the campaign book for Border Wars, but because of the hard drive issues, it's like literally taking me back a good bit. So I'm having to get back up to speed, and then, as I say, hopefully get a good clear run of it and start getting more flags out, which is the main aim, because it's the biggest part of the website is the flag. Yeah, it's what most people come to me for, and the miniatures is just something else that I do, kind of thing. So
have you got what ranges are coming up then for you?
I've got.
Oh, he's excited. He's excited.
So I've kind of covered a lot of it's existing stuff. I've nothing really new that I'm adding to the range. So I've got new stuff coming out for the War of Austrian Succession, with the De Grassen's regiment, skirmish troops for the Battle of Fontenoy. Various other ones that will cover both the Jacobites and the War of Austrian Succession, so things like French artillery, French cavalry. There was French cavalry that served in Scotland during the Jacobite Rebellion, the Fitzjames Horse, so that kind of covers both. Things like British casualties, etc. So there's quite a lot to come. I just need it takes up a lot of time just actually coming up with these ideas and then getting them molded and then just getting them out, the promoting work, getting them painted. It's always the ideal goal is to try and get them painted before you release them. It doesn't always work, but I'm trying that a little to get to that stage with a lot of it. A lot of it I paint myself, but I've actually got some guys painting for me as well just now. And there's a whole load of new Border Wars stuff as well. Tons. I've got loads and loads of STLs that just need printed and sent to the Griffin to get them moulded and get some metal versions of them. But there's so much to come. I just need to get it all done. It's not always easy.
All that time you've saved. Yeah, of course you can, mate.
I was going to say, with you mentioned there getting stuff printed and then moulded, and the old way of doing it would just be to sculpt them with green stuff or milliput or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Do the STLs, do the printed files, the actual prints, stand up to the moulding process then, like the resin? Is it hard enough?
It's a different moulding process.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's what from my understanding. So Griffin are really they're really up to speed with it all, but it's called cold cure moulding that they do for the resins. So they send me the resins back and they're perfect. There's nothing wrong with them. I think the way that they would do it with the green stuff would just melt them. But this cold cure process, and they literally send me the resins back and they're in perfect condition. But I love metal. I'm still not on. I print a lot of my own stuff, but I'm not on board with it. It's good enough for gaming. Yeah, they look great when you're painting them and stuff, but I find them a little bit fragile, to be honest. I've played games with some of the Border Wars stuff that I printed, and somebody's went crazy with the dice, and next thing I know, there's like spears and stuff pinging off them, and I'm like, oh, what the hell? So yeah, I'm not fully on board that it's good that they're good enough when printed. I love metal. I just metal in my hand when I'm painting it. Like, I don't even like painting plastics, to be honest. I put them in my hand. They don't feel right to me. I don't know, just a bit heavy-handed maybe. And it just
I like them because of the weight, really, the lack of weight. Because I mean prints, because if you're carrying a load of tanks down to the club, it's you're slinging about a lot of lead, aren't you?
Yeah.
That's why I like 3D prints and stuff, because it's a lot easier to get those boxes down. I think, but a lot of people like that heft of the metal, don't they?
Yeah, I've got a large 3D printer, so I'm printing quite a lot of terrain. That's what I'm trying.
Yeah, terrain is very good with printing.
I love terrain, so if you can get really good terrain and you can print it, I'm all on board for that.
Mm-hmm. How are you doing, Alex, with things dropping off? Obviously,
well, I am 50 in a couple of weeks, so quite a lot has dropped off at this point.
I was talking resin miniatures, obviously, but yeah.
Well, I did actually have. I had some Vietnam resin miniatures from 3D Breed, and some of the rifles on those snapped, because they're like, they are the right size for an M16 rifle, so they are quite tiny, and they're 15mm as well. So some of those snapped. Not all of them, but some of them did. And I tried to take as much care as possible. So I've kind of abandoned those, and I've gone back to metal. So I've gone to Battlefront and Peter Pig instead of the 3D printed stuff. I think if I got a printer, I would probably be printing my own, but I haven't got a printer simply because I don't want a house full of resin, unpainted resin, because I know that's exactly what would happen. I'd just be printing anything out left, right, and centre, and never getting anything paid. Because what I normally do is I'll go through all the sabotaged.
I think your phone's even worse. Your phone's worse than your bloody normal connection.
All right, okay, I'll swap it back to me. Do apologise about this, chaps.
Oh dear. Right, we'll go. Me and Iain will have another chat while you're fucking about.
You're 100% there, Alex. It almost becomes a bit of a hobby on its own, the 3D printing. But I've printed so many stuff, and I've painted very little. But I guess it's that way that it's things for like Star Wars games and stuff printed mostly, and there's loads available, but you end up printing way more than you actually use.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's the thing coming forward, isn't it? With these printed models, is the sustainability of them. Are they going to last up to normal wargaming? And then I'm always a little bit worried because they cure under UV light. How are they going to react living in UV light for the rest of their lives? Are they going to crumble away like those old plastic figures did from the 1950s and 60s?
It's true, yeah. I mean, we haven't seen how long they last for, have we? At this point, they're still incredibly new.
Yeah, we might have just crumble to dust, and just like, if you remember the old figures with the enamel paint, it's just like a shell of enamel paint. There's nothing inside them. It's just paint.
It'll be like Mount Vesuvius, won't it? You'll have to go back in and fill all the cavities out to make. You're effectively moulding your own figures, aren't you, from the paint?
Yeah.
Oh, it looks like Alex is frozen again. I think his wife must be using all the internet.
Yeah, and he needs to put 50 pence back in the meter.
Oh, he's gone off to get some money for the meter. So these, I mean, War of the Austrian Succession, then, mate. Are you trying to pick units that aren't available elsewhere?
Well, some of them are. So primarily, most of the things are, what do I want? It's always my first thing, because for me to get passionate about it, to get fully behind it, I need to be passionate about it. And the Battle of Fontenoy is the one that interests me the most. and just when you start reading about it and you find out about these various units, you go, and you see like illustrations of them, you go, yeah, they look great. I want them, and that's pretty much where it goes. I just see something, I really like them, and next thing I'm on the phone to the sculptor and saying, how does this sound? I'll send you over a brief, and then. But the problem is I just keep throwing money at all these figures and not getting them out quick enough.
So it's not got to the point now where you're retiring and
absolutely not.
Absolutely not. You've still got to keep that day job going.
It's that way that I've always maintained that. That I do have an end goal with the business, but at the moment it's not to make money. It's to build a business and then hopefully maybe one day sell the business, and then use that money. So as long as the company funds itself, I'm more than happy. I've got my day job. I'm happy with that. Flags of War can't afford me, so I'll keep doing the day job. I wish it could. It would be a beautiful situation just to have like my hobby as my full-time business, but it's got its downsides as well, and that's kind of part of why I did the whole thing with Cerisa. And there's that element of it almost becomes your hobby rather than the hobby that I got in. The reason I did it was to make extra money to buy figures, and then it just becomes that I'm having to keep making money. It becomes a successful business. Businesses aren't easy to take money out of and stuff, so you're just like, right, okay, and then next thing you're going to shows, you're doing a stall, you're not actually taking part in the shows, and you're not getting to speak to everyone you want to speak to, and you're just like, why am I doing this? This isn't what I planned. I wanted to be involved in my hobby, and now it's just taking the hobby away, and that's what I'm trying to do as well. I love painting, try and get back to painting, doing my flags, the things I enjoy, playing games.
So you've been a little bit too successful with the whole thing then, and it's taken over.
Yeah, sometimes this is the thing, when you're a one-man band, you can actually take on too much in terms of orders, and it was always that way that there was certain things that I would say no to. No people asking if I would do 15 or 20 mil flags. I get asked a lot about the epic scale stuff, and a lot of the time it was always no, because if I open up into that market, it's going to, great, it increases the sales, but there's obviously that piece that you need to keep up with the demand, and it was just me. So there's potential there with it now being with Cerisa that I can open those kind of doors and actually cater for 15 mil market, especially the specific focus probably next would be on the epic stuff. I get asked a lot for that. On that scale, was it 13 and a half mil?
Whatever it is.
It would cover, for flags, it would probably cover most things. I like heroic scale flags as it is, so it would probably cover about 15 mil, 13 and a half mil, whatever you want to call it. So it's definitely something that I'll look into. But
is it an easy job just to rescale the flag, or is there a lot more involved than a layman just going and moving it so it makes it a little bit smaller?
There is an element of that is very easy to rescale it, but you also need to factor in other pieces, like if you rescale the flag overall, it will rescale the middle section, and as you know, in terms of flagpoles, they're probably the same size across all the scales.
Yeah.
Rather than, so if you've got like a 5 mil wrapper, a 4 mil, 5 mil wrap around in the middle of the flag, it would probably still be the same at any scale, rather than that decreasing, because the circumference of the flagpole's pretty much the same, no matter the scale, kind of thing. Yeah, it's easy enough. It's not hard. It's just in the past, when it was the potential to open up the doors to a whole new market, it was kind of like a bit daunting to go, well, if that just starts hampering all the sales or the delivery times for 28 mil, I could potentially lose customers. So I didn't want to do that.
I'm back. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Right, we are now. I think it sounds like we're in sync. I've turned my camera off. I'll come back up to the better computer.
Right.
Yes, it sounds like we're in sync, I think, now.
Yeah.
God almighty. So I'm so sorry about this.
Don't worry.
Okay.
I'll send you the bill for my time when I fucking edit all the shite out.
I can't afford 5p.
What?
Ka-ching.
I know some kerfuffle to get out of the football chat.
I'll do anything to not listen to people talking about football here. Don't worry about that.
Do you like any sports at all, Alex?
No, none.
None
whatsoever.
Cricket,
Nothing,
rugby,
absolutely nothing at all. I'm one of those people when people say, "Oh, what football team do you support?" I say, "None." What rugby team do you support? None. Do you like X? No.
Yeah, you'd get talked about in Glasgow. you'd be in a bar in Glasgow and you'd be like, "What's this guy, man?"
Not this lad.
Oh dear me. So what me and Ian have done our bit. So
Right.
we just need to hear about your Warlord Games tattoo and what's going on there.
You're desperate to pick it up, aren't you? Well,
no, I want to know why you get all the free shit and I get fuck all. That's what I want to know.
because you swear on your podcast and I don't. It's that simple.
I know. I'm just going to say this now. Victrix Miniatures have sent me some of their new medieval knights.
Oh, have they? Very nice.
I mean, it's quite good actually because I was complaining about Victrix Miniatures, the arse being too big on the horse, so you can't fit them on a stand. Right. You can't fit 3 on a 60 mil wide base.
I'll be happy to take them for free though.
Well, I'm trying them out, aren't I?
Yeah, all right. Well, that's the same with me with Warlord. Well, look, they got in touch with me just before Christmas. I think they're having they seem to be having a big let's get in touch with everybody who's doing any kind of wargaming content on YouTube or podcasts that people like, that people listen to.
Fair enough.
And they said, "Oh, we'll send you some stuff out if you want. Is there anything you're interested in?" I said, "Well, to be honest, actually, I was actually thinking about their Napoleonic stuff, their 15mm Napoleonic stuff, the epic stuff, as everybody calls it.
13.75. Yeah.
They are exactly 15mm. They match up exactly to Plastic Soldier Company. They match up exactly to Essex. Honestly, they're bang on.
So he's saying this 13.75 thing's a scam then? They are actually 15. Are they true 15s? What we would call true 15s?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Right, okay.
They this match with Peter Pig. They work perfectly well with most 15mm figures. So I was thinking about getting some anyway because I quite liked the idea of them. But they're quite costly. And
yeah. When you saw you had to pay for them.
Mm-hmm.
The begging ball out.
Absolutely. Well, they approached me and all the way around, and so I just said, "Yeah, I'll take some of those. I'll take some of the bolt action stuff as well, which is a bit of a departure for me for 28mm World War II. But I made some videos and things out of those, and then they approached me about Achtung Panzer, the new game that they brought out. Was it in summer? It was at Salute, wasn't it? That was released.
Yeah.
So they approached me about that, sent out some stuff for that. So I made a couple of videos about that, played a game of it. Can't say I'm the world's biggest fan of it, let's be honest. But I kind of fulfilled my side of the deal. And I just got some more Prussians off them. I got the Prussian starter box off them the other day for Epic as well. They did approach me about the Hannibal stuff. The new stuff that's come out, the Epic stuff.
The factions.
Mm-hmm. The factions, the different the Roman faction and the Hannibal faction. But I actually turned them down. I said,
"Did you?"
Yeah.
Very noble of you.
Well, I thought there's no point me doing it because loads of people are already going to be doing it. I've seen at least 4 channels that have got their stuff on show. So I'm just going to be somebody else saying the same thing. Plus, it's a period that I've got absolutely zero interest in, and I've got zero interest in learning about. Because I'm old enough in the tooth at this point as a wargamer to know what I like, and I like 3 periods.
Even when spear chucking at elephants is free.
Yeah, I'm not bothered. I'm not going to play it.
Okay.
I'm not going to play Hail Caesar. I've got no interest in playing it. I'm not going to play. I'm not going to use them. I've got no idea about the period. I play historical war games because I like history.
Yeah.
If I'm not interested in the history, I'm not interested in the game. Do you know what I mean? So
it's basically pointy sticks and shields and.
Oh yeah, of course it is. Yeah, it's pretty simple
stuff.
stuff.
Not my thing either. I'm not into ancients. I'm not into medievals.
Yeah, same here. I'm just not interested in it at all.
I've tried, but anything pre-1500, I'm kind of like, nah.
Yeah. So I figured like there's no point me pretending that I'm interested in something just for the sake of views and for the sake of getting a box set that I would probably end up flogging on eBay anyway. What's the point?
Yeah.
Like give it to somebody who's interested in it. Like Stu over at Miniature Realms. He's been doing a lot of videos on the stuff. He's a good painter. Martin, Seventh Son, he's been doing a lot of stuff on it. Dom has also been doing some stuff on Boots of the Table. So, it's already well covered.
Yeah.
So I just thought, no, there's literally no point in me having it.
So you've gone Eastern Front with the 28mm World War II stuff?
Nope.
No, I thought I saw some T-34s, or were they little ones?
No, they were 28mm ones, but they were supposed to be for Achtung Panzer, but I haven't done anything else with them really. I did a couple of painting videos of those, and I thought that's enough for me. They're too big. Too big for my tastes.
If they called Achtung Panzer, look, it's a tank. Would it sell more or less?
I doubt it. Well, to be honest, I think it's selling pretty well. To be perfectly honest, I don't know. There's obviously a lot of people who are big into the Warlord games. I'm saying here and now, I'm not bothered about them. I've read Black Powder, I've read Bolt Action, and if I'm honest, both of them leave me pretty cold. I prefer there's other games out there that I think are better, and it's the same with Achtung Panzer. Played it. I don't think I'll play it again. But
so is it like What a Tanker for 3-year-olds?
Kind of.
Okay.
There's some nice bits in it, but there's a few things in it where there's just a couple of things in it that I really didn't like. Like, so for example, at the start of a turn, you have 3 phases in the turn, but at the start of the turn, you roll to see who's got the initiative. And then that initiative stays in place for the next 3 phases.
Right.
So you always know who's going to go next.
So which
order they're going to go in for the next 3 phases.
Fucked, you're absolutely fucked.
Yeah,
there's no getting out of it. Yeah. You're getting twatted for 3 turns on a run.
Exactly. Whereas with What a Tanker, you've got no idea what's going to happen. You're rolling for initiative each turn, and then also you don't know what you're going to be able to do anywhere with your dice, so it's a bit more confusing. But dare I say it, there's more friction in What a Tanker, which is what I like. Whereas with Achtung Panzer, it's a bit more.
Slightly confused why the Germans are shouting "Danger, Panzer." Surely they're the ones with the Panzers. They shouldn't be.
Yeah.
You're not a Second World War man, are you, Iain?
Yeah, no, I'm alright.
It means tank in German. Apparently, it just means armor.
Right. Okay. So just anything. Really.
There's today's lesson. Panzerkraftwagen, Kampfwagen. Sorry, armored fighting vehicle.
I got 6% in German at school, so
I did French.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
I tried
football top.
I tried German after I'd got 13% in French, and it went downhill to 6% for German.
Oops. Latin. I can't tell you anything to do with Latin still to this day.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't get it. It's a table. It's a sky. I just don't get it. It's not a different word. It's too confusing for me. I'm looking out of a window. It isn't a lady. It's La Fenetre. Or is that a table? I've got fucking no idea.
It's very confusing, isn't it?
It is. I just don't get it. I just don't understand it. We've had similar discussions about history and engineering in the past, where I just don't get it. I just don't get this. I just don't understand this bit where they just make new bits of history up, and the history that I learned isn't right anymore.
The Dark Ages.
And the Dark Ages can't say the Dark Ages anymore.
You can't.
Although Michael Wood, I've saved his Twitter thing where he says, "I'm off to give a talk on the Dark Ages at Banbury." That's only 3 or 4 months ago. So if it's good enough for Woody, good enough for me.
We'll not go down that route, I don't think.
No. Well, Footsteps of Alexander the Great had massive influence on me when I was younger. And I suppose Alexander's from Spain now, is he? And he didn't conquer half the world.
Certain facts remain the same. It's just, sometimes new facts come to light. Or new ways of looking at it.
So what you're saying is that they're not doing the job properly in the first place? They're fucking about and getting little bits of information and then making shit up. And then when somebody actually finds the truth, they go, it is the new history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When new evidence comes to light, they find something in an archive or, an archaeological excavation reveals something. There's all these things, these things we're finding out about the past all the time. So yes,
should they not have done the job properly in the first place and found it before they started spouting shit?
Yeah, but then that would mean we'd have to have the full sum of human knowledge in place already, and even Wikipedia hasn't got that.
Well, there you go. you could change it so it has.
Well, that's true. You can edit it all you want.
You certainly can. So we've got loads to get through tonight, boys.
Yeah, so we don't really need to be skipping around how history is made, do we?
No.
We can move on from this.
Well, the thing with that is you can just change it next week and then everyone will go, true. "Oh, yeah, that's brilliant. Mm-hmm. Alex has found something new and history's changed."
Yeah, exactly.
People who do time travel must be fucking confused.
What was it,
travel back to the 90s. So, yeah.
What was it,
travel back to the 1950s and this is how the world is. Travel back to the 2000s. Oh, it's all changed. I don't understand what's going on.
Where was it he worked in 1984? Was it the Ministry of Truth?
Yeah.
Rewrite. You'd get the fact, rewrite it, and then post it again.
That's it.
Historians for you, that. There we go. Maths and physics hasn't changed.
That's true.
The
history of it has.
Yeah. Well, they make films about it now, don't they? They make films about people blowing shit up. It's Oppenheimer or whatever it was called. Yeah. I've watched the documentary about making the film, but I haven't watched the film yet.
Have you not?
I've not watched it either.
It's a good film. It's a good film.
Yeah. Have I done it the wrong way around by watching the documentary first?
I think so, possibly.
Well, the documentary was cheaper because it was free. So I watched that first rather than paying to see the film. And now it's on Sky, I might watch it.
Always thinking of your pockets.
I've got to, mate. I've got too many wargaming projects on that cost money. Cost money.
Try to get a Brandon section now.
Oh dear. So are you doing any more shows as a trader this year, Iain? Are you doing
Nothing
Claymore?
Planned. I'm doing a game at it.
A game at Claymore.
Yeah, I'm doing Border Wars game at it.
Excellent.
Yeah, I looked at coming up to Claymore because I haven't been for probably 10 years ago now. But it's on the first weekend of the Edinburgh Festival, so I can't find anywhere to stay that's less than £500,000. Even as far out as like fucking Berwick, everything's sold out.
Yeah, so Glasgow's not that far from it either.
Yeah, but I need to be able to get out of my house and to the train station without getting beaten over the head.
You'd be bad. Come to Glasgow, you can come with me. I'll take you.
Take me out, yeah. I'll be all right at Bradford. Would I be all right at Bradford top? Because everyone will think it'll be Motherwell, won't they?
Nobody would know who they were.
That's all right.
Stuart McCall.
The Rangers stroke Bradford legend.
Yeah, I'm sitting this bit out. I've got nothing to add here.
Has Falkirk show Carronade, has that been and gone?
Yeah, it was good. I went to that as a punter, so I quite enjoyed it. It was a bit different. not been to a show as a punter for quite a while.
Mm.
And yeah, no, it was good. It was a good show.
So no trade shows this year at all? Then?
Nothing. I had, because obviously with the way that Partisan works, if you give it up, you need to do kind of both of them. So because I gave up the first Partisan, I couldn't even make it down to it. I was planning, but it was the same weekend of my dad's 70th, so it was very inconsiderate of him. And then I'm potentially looking at coming down for other Partisan. I'll need to see if I can make it down.
Are they worth your while though when you do a trade show? Is it? Do you sell enough to make the big journey down?
Yeah, I would say so. I've never done anything like Salute. I was always kind of pay hundreds and hundreds of pounds for a table. I was always kind of like, oh, I'm not too sure. But everyone was always adamant that it would be good. Then I started doing Partisan, and it was great. Yeah, I loved it. It was very good for the business, and it was brilliant because you get to meet because it's down that Nottingham area. You get to meet so many of your customers that you probably don't get coming up to Scottish shows. So I quite enjoyed that. It's interesting how much you remember about your customers in terms of their names. Like guys would say, oh, I'm such and such, and I'm like, oh God, yeah, how are you doing? And you're like, oh yeah, because you just see these people's orders and you're processing them all the time, and somebody tells you their name, and you're kind of like, oh, I know you. And it was, you'd meet so many customers just down that Partisan. Partisan's the best one for me. I went down to York and I met you.
That attack one. Yeah.
I wasn't impressed. Didn't.
York could be a bit of a trade show. I think I enjoy it most because it's the first one of the year and it's always on my birthday weekend. So I've got £5 that Mum's given me for spend on toy soldiers. But you know, the games seem to be getting more and more sidetracked.
I'd heard over the years, I'd heard so much good things about the games in terms of the high standard that they set within it, and now there just seems to be. I'm not too sure, but I've seen online a lot of political discussions in terms of the way that the club is at the moment, and your game is probably by far the most interesting that I've seen. But a lot of the games I just kind of went and walked past. They just never really piqued any interest in me whatsoever.
Yeah, it feels to me a little bit like Amnatak has gone downhill over the last few years. I can't really put a point on it, but yeah, I used to really enjoy going to it. But Partisan is definitely, I think it's the gold standard at this point, isn't it?
Yeah, for me, definitely really for me.
Yeah,
I mean, my game at Partisan was probably not even in the top half of the best games at the show, which is great because I want to see really good games at a show. Whereas at York, like I said, I mean, even though I was right in a corner, there wasn't much else that was big, and you know, there was a few nice participation games, but you know, the guys that are normally there with the kind of World War One deserty stuff, they weren't there. So,
they were
interested to see where it goes.
Yeah,
interested to see where it goes in the next few years. We'll see.
We will see.
So, Alex, are you putting on a game anywhere soon?
I've got no plans to do so.
Yeah.
The last one I put on was Joyous 6 last year. I'm not going this year because it's on my birthday this year. So I'm not going to be going.
Oh, you're not going to get to see me crucified because I'm on the bloody panel.
You are, aren't you? Yeah. So I was on the panel last year, but
Mr. 28mm big gamer at the 6mm show on the panel.
They're going to kick you possibly
go? They are. Yeah.
You'll not get out alive. But yeah, so that's a nice. It's a great show anyway. But no, I'm not putting one on there because I generally film shows when I go to them these days, rather than put anything on, because they're good for views on the channel. Really, people like watching them because it's like it's people who haven't been or people who have been and they can't remember everything, or there's things they've missed and that kind of thing. So.
Or they just want to see me swearing at the end.
Or just you swearing at the end, yeah.
You always catch You always catch me out swearing. You did it. You did it at salute. I'm such a gentle, placid person who never swears at anything.
Never swears.
And then
You're right.
and then you just
Something
catch
happens, doesn't
me
it?
at the wrong fucking moment and just make me look like a hooligan.
It's an interesting point, Alex, in terms of what you're saying that you're doing at the shows. But it was similar to what I said in terms of me doing the stalls and how I felt it was taken away from my hobby. Do you feel as though you're getting taken away with your hobby but so focused on the YouTube channel? Or
no.
do you prefer it?
I was talking to my wife about this actually just yesterday. No, the YouTube is a hobby.
Yeah.
It's just a hobby. It happens to make me some money, which is nice, bit of pocket money, but it's, it is 100% a hobby. And so I enjoy going to the shows to film them. And I enjoy the editing part of it. I enjoy putting the things together. I just enjoy that part of it as well. Yeah. So it's just another creative outlet, really. So I don't
get to see it.
Exactly. Because I go around every table. If I'm at the show, so I'll see every table anyway. And then I also get to interview the people that I want to interview, and then also Ken bullies his way onto interviews as well. So, it works both ways, really.
You refused to interview me last time because I swear too much.
Yes, too much bleeping. That's a problem.
It's only because you catch me out.
Yeah. Don't be so innocent. But yeah, no, I do. And it gives me a reason to go to the shows as well. Because to be honest, I don't buy anything at shows these days. I can't remember. I might pick up some paint if I remember the paints that I need, because I keep meaning to take a list of the paints that I'm running out of, and I always forget because I automatically just buy them off eBay, and so I always forget to get them. So I very, very, very rarely buy anything. I don't buy figures because most people don't sell 15mm anyway. I've got most of the stuff that I want anyway, so yeah, I don't use them as shopping trips or anything like that.
I didn't buy anything at all at Salute, and I don't think I bought anything at Partisan either.
I'm trying to think what my haul was, and I can't remember what it was. Sometimes I might order something and pick it up, I'll pre-order something, then spend £80 on the train to get to Salute just to save me the £5 postage or whatever.
Makes
sense. Things like
makes
that.
Most of the books I buy these days at shows to go.
Yeah, even then I don't buy books because I've run out of space for them because we moved into this new house. So I've got no room. I'm having to give up books, rather than put new ones in. So yeah, I'm even banned from buying books, self-banned from buying books at this point.
Well, I've clearing the spare room out, and I've got boxes and boxes and boxes of books just to go.
Yeah,
because I need to make space for terrain and soldiers and.
What are you doing with them?
Awards from my podcast. oh dear. Well, a lot of them are football related, Alex, so I can imagine you'd have those. Yeah, I've got a lot of sports stuff, so I've got a lot of Formula One and football stuff. But I'll send you anything, because when my friend passed away, Dave, last year, he left me all of his books, and with any kind of wargamer thing, there's a lot of duplication. I'll let you know, mate, what I've got before I get rid of it, and you can have anything.
No, I just wondered. I wouldn't. Like I say, I'm trying not to get books, but
it's like Warlord Games, mate. I know you like free stuff, so I'll happily donate it.
Wow.
I'll happily donate it.
I'm actually waiting for Battlefront to sell me some of their stuff. That's what I want. I want the Vietnam stuff from Battlefront for free, but they've not reached out to me.
You've heard it. You've heard it live here. Battlefront, send Alex some shit.
Not interested in the rules, just the figures.
Just want the figures. He's not mercenary or anything. He just wants the figures. He's not bothered about anything else.
I'll do him a 5-minute video. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. You're very good like that. Right, so I've fucking no idea I'm going to edit this first bit together. It's going to take me absolutely forever.
Oh well.
I think I might put it in for me and Iain will go for the football podcast of the year with the first 10 minutes while you were arsing about. And then we finally got you here. So
I'm just glad it's
end
not
off.
a me problem, that's all.
Yeah, well, yeah, it is a you problem. You will pay for this in some way that you are unaware of. Shit. So we always like to finish the first section with our history corner. So we're going to go across to Iain, who's going to give us some interesting facts about the Jacobite Rebellion.
Oh,
Ian's Jacobite. Oh, don't do us a Sean on. Don't do a Sean on us and just forget about it.
I'm sure I gave you some facts the last time.
Yeah, you told us. You told us about them having more muskets than swords.
Yeah. Did I give you the one about the no beards?
Oh, no beards. No, let's have that one.
Yeah.
That'll do you for this episode.
It's the one that I always get is that I actually did a set of figures and gave them beards because I was getting pressure to do them. But it's that perception of Highlanders, isn't it? Everyone sees these hairy-arsed Highlanders running about in kilts, showing them off and pulling them up in front of the enemy, but it's very much far from the truth. It was very uncommon. Maybe a moustache in those periods, but certainly it wasn't common in the British cultures. And it doesn't matter whether it was up in the Highlands or down in London. They were still very fashion conscious in terms of things like facial hair, and it certainly wasn't a thing. There's a load of the Pennycook sketches, and not one of them have any facial hair. Same with the Sandbay paint illustrations.
Oh, wow.
Anything with the Highlanders doesn't have any facial hair. There's even a famous story, I can't remember who it was. It was an officer who'd been travelling for a number of days to come and meet the prince. And the prince was offended that he'd been introduced to him, and the man hadn't shaved.
Wow.
And supposedly the comment was that he was here to represent an army of men, not boys. So he'd apologised, but it was it's a sad state. But the fact that he was offended tells you everything that you need to know, that it wasn't a common thing for any man to have facial hair, and definitely didn't matter whether it was Highlanders. Not to say that it probably didn't happen when they were on the road all the way down to Derby and then try to get back up, but it wasn't a thing. Despite many people always going on, where's your beards? And I'm like, they didn't have them.
You would have thought in that age it would have been easier to maintain a beard than it would to maintain a shaven face.
You'd think so, yeah. I'd have thought so.
I like that, Iain. That's a good fact that we weren't aware of. Sean, when you listen to this, you need to up your game for your Mexican corner. We don't. All he does, Alex, isn't it? He gives us them bloody Emilio Zapata and that other bloke that he always forgets. And that's about it. And then he says a lot of people died.
Yeah, that's it. We're done. Great, cheers, John.
The absolutely funniest one ever was when he actually prepared something. Proper printed out. He copied it off Google. We know that, but he prepared something, and he started to read out, and the internet connection went, and he disappeared, didn't he, for 20 minutes?
Yes. A bit like me earlier.
Oh dear me. Right, we'll take a short break for the listeners. Whatever you've listened to in the last, this is an hour and 3. It could be 20 minutes. That's all I'm going to get out of it. So we'll be back in a moment. Right, we're back, and traditionally, the second part of the show always starts with a judicial review of the entrance into room 101, since our previous
episode, and we've actually got quite a few this time. And there's going to be a big row later on. I'm just going to warn you now that Alex is going to go off on one.
I'm angry already.
He's angry already, but there's a while to go before that one, Alex. So you don't need to worry yet. You can build your anger up into it slowly. Giles Shapley, Wargames Shed, was the first person on the show after the new year, and he had a good one that does really annoy me as well, and that's players who take forever to set up.
Set up?
Set up,
yeah. Set up their army?
Yeah, so they'll turn up at a club for like a 3-hour club game, and then they'll spend an hour and a half putting the stuff out, and then showing you the new models and stuff. And then by the time you're ready to actually go, it's 10 o'clock and you need to pack up.
Yeah, I agree with that. Time wasting, isn't it? You're there to play a game. Get set up as quick as you can.
Get on with
the game. Yeah.
Or turn up and then chat to everyone in the club. You're trying to play your game. Hurry up!
Yeah. Come on.
It's not too bad at our place because you can keep your games running for weeks and weeks. So it's a very poor tactic because you can leave stuff set up. It's like chat away all you want, mate. We're here next week.
Play the same game.
Oh dear me. So that was a nice easy one. I didn't see any problems with that one.
Definitely. All agreed on that one.
And then we moved on to the Salute show where we had Phil Andrews and Martin Gain. Phil Andrews came up with quite a clever one actually. People who check the rule book when you are outsmart them with a move, especially when you're just copying one of their moves. That's cheeky. That is cheeky.
It's a bit rules lawyer, isn't it?
Yeah.
I
will check a rule if I'm kind of going, that doesn't feel right. But I would never do it and then say that they couldn't do it. If I did something and I got it wrong, I would say, no, right, you could definitely do it. I'm not gamey, but I have played games and somebody's done something that doesn't feel right, and I'm like, while they're carrying out their move, I'm just like secretly checking the rules.
I've done it. I've certainly done it when if I think I know the rule. And I think the role has not been played right. I'll say, hang on a second, let's just double check that. They're generally right, and I'm the one that's wrong. But but I don't know. It feels a little rules lawyery, and I'd probably let them get away with it if it was something good, if it was worthwhile. It's if it was a nice move and it was nice and narrative and it felt right in the game. Doesn't matter, you're only playing a game. Who cares if you win or lose?
I totally agree. I think it kind of shows you the will to win in some people is strong, and the will to just have a decent game and a laugh in others is stronger.
Something came up actually. I was thinking about this. Me and Dex have been playing the Malaya 1942 campaign for Chain of Command for the last few months. We finished it now, but we're on
games now.
No, because we did it down the club, so I kept it quiet. I kept it on social media.
Not on a podcast or anything.
No, nothing. Not mentioned it at all.
No, right, okay.
I haven't videoed it or anything. I'll put the videos on the channel or anything. So they've got no idea. But
good.
I'll be blacklisted. But one thing that happened was what we were doing. I had a unit that I wanted to go into close combat, and with 2 file orders, you got the variable movement. So I wanted to move them 2d6, and Dex was doing something down the other end of the table. So I rolled the dice, and I actually rolled, I think it was something like a 3 or something like that, something really low, and it wasn't enough to get me into close combat. And I just stopped for a second, and I thought to myself, he hasn't seen that I've rolled that. Should I re-roll it? Or should I fess up? And I stood for about 5 or 10 seconds, and I just thought about it. I thought, no, I'll fess up, because it's not in the spirit of the game just to go, oh look, I've got 12. I'm in close combat. And and it didn't. I don't think it cost me the game, but it was like it was. It didn't. It was. I thought, yeah, okay, I've proved something to myself there that I haven't cheated to do this. So I think
that's like one of them Jesus parables, isn't it?
it is a bit.
You can imagine him stood there, and Alex threw his dice, and lo, they were only 3. And he thought, and the devil appeared on his shoulder.
So you see, but my point with the heavy is I could have changed it around. So I've kind of probably let Dex get away with something else as well, and he's probably let me get away with something that was wrong in the rules without us both diving in the rules and checking it up, because it's not a reading library, is it? It's a game. But yes, I kind of havered on it a little bit, and I thought, no, I'm going to play the game.
That's very honest of you, mate. Very honest of you.
And I never mentioned it to him before, so if he listens to this, he'll know what I'm talking. He might know what I'm talking about.
He's got a question. He's got a question or two in later on, so he'll definitely be listening. Yeah, very good one. Martin Gain from the same show. I think we might have had something similar before, but people who over celebrate when they win or roll 666, like they've just won the fucking World Cup or something, and they go around, they run around the club going, "Yes, in your face, Sotheran."
That one really depends on the situation and the context, doesn't it? If you do it all the time, like if you every time you roll a 666, then God, shut up. It's just the dice gods. If it is a incredibly critical point in the game, then it means the literally that split between winning or losing, then I think you've got a right to at least punch the air and shout yoo-hoo or laugh loudly or something. But doing it about 8 times in a game, it just loses its impact.
Nah, I definitely agree. I've seen it. You sometimes see it at shows, don't you? And some people can get right excited.
Yeah,
It kind of creates an atmosphere at the other tables. You're like,
yeah, everybody quietens down. It's like when they drop a load of plates or something in a restaurant.
Yeah, I'm just not that excited about it.
Nah, same. Nah, I've never really said. Maybe give it a guess or something, but nah, I've never.
Yeah,
really
that's what I mean. If it's a very, very crucial role and you get it and you need it, but yeah, if you're doing it like I say 8 times in a game, then yeah.
I'm more likely to crease up laughing when something hilarious happens in the game than I am to get massively excited. I mean, I think I've mentioned it before. We had a game where the British had an objective at one end of a 12-foot table, and there was one British tank left. All the others had been destroyed or whatever. And the British tank was one move away from getting to the objective, and it broke down.
Yeah, let's see that kind of thing. That's more interesting, isn't it? That adds more to the game.
I had similar playing Colditz recently.
Yeah,
and it was really exciting. I got to the staff car, and it was
that's always exciting when you get to the
staff car. And I was like, we were like going for it. We just needed so many rolls, and you don't complete it unless you get past the gate.
Yeah,
and then missed it. We were like 3. But it was really exciting. Even the guy, like, he was playing the guards. He's like, "Oh, come on!" And then missed it with 3. And I got captured and shoved back in the cell.
Best place for you.
Yeah.
Oh dear me. Yeah, quality. Nigel Atta, who did a wonderful episode on Mesopotamia, World War One. Yeah, being told your basing is wrong. It's when some random person comes up to you showing, I think you found their base wrong.
Yeah, that is incredibly petty, I think, isn't it? I don't know.
Yeah, I just don't get it.
I've been told that before. I posted something, I think, on Reddit, and it was it was probably some of the Warlord epic stuff, and somebody said the grass wouldn't be that green. So I found a picture of the battlefield of Waterloo with green grass.
There
you go. Oh look, same colour as my base. Weird that.
Yeah, there are some strange people out there, and we'll talk about when we come to do the World Cup draw in a few minutes' time. We'll be mentioning some of them. We've had another one. We've had another two today, and it's like anyway. We'll come to that in a minute.
You say a minute, it's going to be about an hour, isn't it?
Yeah. No. We've only got 1, 2, 3. Oh well, yeah, we've got the Joe Bilton one, so that might take a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably want to be editing that one out, I think.
Yeah. Quickly go through the next two then before the fight starts. Richard Marsh, Rapid Fire. Sorry, not Rapid Fame.
Rapid Fame.
That sounds like a 1980s disco war crossover movie. It's arguments in war games. We don't have them.
No, we don't.
I
don't play with people that do.
Yeah, that's it. I don't play with people that would.
I think competition-wise, I've seen some aggressive pointing at competition games. I've seen some people get really, really stressed. But I think if you play narrative games like I think all of us do, there's less of a competition edge to it, isn't there? You're not. You're playing to get Gunner Dave across the field to pick a radio up or whatever the objective is, rather than to win by 0.25 points after 6 hours.
Yes, exactly. I've had it before down the club sometimes. Some people who will sit and, discuss a rule for 10 or 15 minutes. And I just move on at this point. Doesn't matter. Yeah, really doesn't matter. Yeah, roll the dice. 1 to 3, you're right. 4 to 6, I'm right. It's done. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just play the game, Yeah. So it ruins a game. Absolutely ruins a game.
Yeah, for me, gaming's always. I think it was when I got into gaming and miniature figures and everything, it was always watching things like Sharp and all that as a kid, and that was so for me, like my gaming and everything about it was always like trying to create a TV show or a movie or something, and that was it. And sometimes the movie isn't always glorious, so you might lose, and that, but it's still part of it. And I don't think I've ever really got into an argument over gaming.
That's what I said before, isn't it? Really, but it does. To me, I don't care who wins or loses. It's nice to win, but losing well is also good fun as well.
I'm terrible at winning my own game. I give people demos in my game at my club, and I end up getting beat. I'm like, I need to change these rules.
What's this? What's this here? Anyone called Iain +1? Anybody with links to the McDonald family tree +1?
If you own a wargaming company specialising in flags +1.
Yeah. Oh, dear me. In the same show, Colin Rumford suggested people coming up to him. He's had it loads of times and saying this isn't very realistic.
Well, of course it's not. It's 15mm figures or 20mm figures in their case. Of course, it's not realistic.
It's it's one of those things, isn't it? That some games, I think, a lot of games now it shows there is an effort, a reasonable effort to produce a decent looking table.
Yeah.
Rather
does he mean like people are nitpicking the historical inaccuracy?
Yeah, because I mean, Colin is, he's Mr.
does his research, doesn't he? Yeah.
Mr. 20mm World War II. He's got one of the most successful sets of rules for World War II that's been going for a long time, and people do big, massive games with it. And he's, him and Richard have put displays on all around the country.
Oh yeah.
So he knows his stuff. He's even got a house at Aramonch. So he's there half the year. So I think we do.
Yes, of all the people that probably knows his onions, I think he's in the list. I thought you meant it being realistic in that I took the wrong end of the straw on that one.
Ah, right, okay.
But yes, I mean, what I meant is, yes, I mean, it's toy soldiers on a table. Of course, it's not like reenactors. But yeah, when you do, a good table with good research on it is something to behold, I think. And then people coming around and criticising for you. And it's like, well, okay, well, why don't you make one then?
Yeah. But I think I told you one before when we used to play that very British Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
And we did a game at one of the shows, and I actually had Martin at War Bases. I designed basically. We were doing the Battle of Glasgow Green. And in Glasgow Green, there's a very famous building, the People's Palace. It's a beautiful big red sandstone building. And I'd sent Martin. I designed all these plans for an MDF building, and I sent it to Martin. I covered it in foam core and everything. It was brilliant. I'll try and get you the pictures. And me and Dave Watson played this game at I think it was a Glasgow show. And he had all these communists, and I had my Covenanters, and we were fighting it out. And a guy came up and said, I think you've actually missed it. There was a slight hill in front of the People's Palace. I was like, what? I did all the brickwork and everything, but I'd missed this slight hill. And I was like, are you for real?
Walk on, lad. Walk on.
Yeah, just
okay. I think there needs to be. I don't know where it would be kept, but I think there needs to be an official list of questions to which the answer "fuck off" is.
Just put it at the front of the table.
Yeah,
an FAQs like.
Yeah.
If your questions on this list.
I might try that. I think the other part is the next time I'm going to have a game on. So I'm going to put something on there. Steel Lard, Alex.
Steel Lard, indeed. Yes.
Are you doing a large O group?
I'm going to do a normal size O group.
Oh, okay.
So if you're like just a three company O group, so 1 battalion. So if you're going to do a larger O group, that would be nice to see. Because I know you saw it in that. I saw your email about it.
Yeah. I just thought. Well, I've got. I'll tell you off air, but I've got something very special.
Okay.
Not just me very special. Something gaming very special.
Okay.
So I'll let you know from the break.
We've got a Lardies event this weekend as well.
Oh yeah,
deep fried lard.
Deep fried lard. Yeah.
Yep.
Are you going along, Ian?
Yeah. I'm going along to play a couple of the games.
What you signed up for?
I think Derek asked, and I signed up for a couple of the Chain of Command World War II ones and the French Indian War sharp practice one. So
oh, okay, excellent.
See how it goes. I'm not that interested in the old group stuff. It's just mostly because of the scale. So, but I've asked to put my name. I'm not fussed. I basically gave him a list saying I'll play any one of those. Shove me somewhere. And then I think we're all going for a curry after it. So yeah,
that sounds like a typical Lardy day.
Well, unfortunately I'm driving because it's away from it's Musselburgh. So
yeah, I was going to say it's Musselburgh in that one.
It's a fair distance for me, so I can't. I need to drive. I don't mind that.
Have you seen that new? Did you get a copy of it? That new World War II skirmish game, Alex?
I did.
What was it? What's it called?
Is this 5 for victory? Yeah.
V for victory.
No,
yes,
5.
5, Ken.
5 for victory.
5 for victory.
Yeah. It's not V, it's 5.
But it says V, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it isn't 5.
Okay.
Not joking. It's genuinely called.
That's what they said it's called. Is they say the Studio Tomahawk.
Everyone else would have thought V for victory, and they were like, no, it's 5.
5 for victory.
Okay.
I think there's a mistranslation somewhere in there. Because they're a French company, aren't they?
They're all right. This is French country.
I thought they were taking a piss. I thought it was Muskets and Tomahawks and Saga. I thought they were taking a piss because they were. I thought it'd come out on the 1st of April, and I checked the thing where they mentioned the 5 for victory, and it wasn't. It was like the 23rd of April, so it wasn't even an April Fool's joke or anything. It was.
Well, I'm gobsmacked. I was convinced it was V for victory.
No, it's 5.
It is. Well, it is, but they're calling it 5 for victory.
And just for people out there, I am aware that V as Roman numerals is number 5. Yes. I am aware of that. I'm just shocked that, V for Victory, I'm thinking Churchill, I'm thinking World War II, I'm getting the right vibes. 5 for Victory, I'm thinking of a game of Snakes and Ladders.
Yeah, doesn't make sense in any form. But yeah, they sent me a PDF of it.
And if I remember, you weren't overly impressed.
Let's say it won't be replacing Chain of Command anytime soon.
That was my fault. So I had pre-ordered it, and then I was like, I'm not going to play this.
It's, from what I could see, it's slightly over-engineered. I never liked Saga anyway. Played it a couple of times. I wasn't into it. I find their stuff. I mean, they've got loads of people love them, so fair dues. If you like them, you like them. But I find their games are a bit like a board game trying to be a war game.
Right.
There's a lot of mechanics. I've never played it.
Yeah, I like it.
I've never played it. But I think somebody else has said it. This one's got a similar thing, similar dice mechanic to Congo, and what's the other one? I can't remember. Force on Force, I think it is, where you basically have a roll to hit and it's a 5, but you, depending on how good your troops are, they roll a bigger dice. So like,
size wise.
Yeah, size wise. So it goes from 7 mil dice if you're not very good, up to a 25 mil dice if you're very good.
I'm just out of the statistics.
I'm joking. I'm taking a piss. It goes from D6, D8, D12. So you add bigger dice.
I do that with Border Wars.
Is that the way it works with Border Wars?
Yeah.
But you also have cards as well, and the cards dictate how your actions are. So you have 7 cards, and you can play a certain amount, and you use them up and things.
That's what you do. Muskets and Tomahawks is the same.
Same thing, is it? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if it's the same activation mechanism, but Muskets and Tomahawks, you basically activate that troop type. So if you've got 4 units of the same troop type, you play that card, you activate all of them, and it's normally one action, or depending if they're well trained.
I think it is, yeah. It depends if you're using a leader or something, and they've got a radius, a command radius that you can activate units within it. The thing is, the cards that you play have got specific actions on them, and I don't really like that, because I prefer to have units being given actions, but they can kind of do anything they want, but they've only got a certain number of actions. If that makes sense, rather than being dictated as to what you can do.
Yeah, you're the commander. You want to give the orders.
Yeah, rather than saying, okay, this card only allows me to either move or to spot. I'd rather have 2 actions where I can either move or spot, but it's up to me to decide what they do specifically. If that I don't know if I'm making sense, but
no, I think Soldiers of God, I think when I played that a couple of times, that had a similar mechanism where you were very restricted with what you could do based on the card. So, and we found it extremely frustrating having Templars fighting Saladin's Blackguard, and because you had draw bows, they didn't fight.
Yeah,
it's these people at the extreme ends of Christian and Muslim fanaticism are just going to go, oh well, we've got a bow card there. Let's have some tea instead of fighting each other.
I don't mind, having a series of units and some of them not being able to do stuff, but it's the ones that are able to do stuff I want to be able to, command them. Like you say, like that, when that comes up, you get to a point where, okay, I can't actually do anything with this unit, but I've got a card that should be able to command them, but I can't do anything with it.
So they have other games like 6 for Revolution and
I think so.
3 for Rebellion and
2
is
for
it related?
Tomahawks.
I'm fascinated by this now. Is it related to the dice at all? Is 5 like a special dice?
I've no idea. They just said it was on their advert.
I think it actually is. I think that's our target number.
Well, actually, yes, it is. You're right. It is. Yeah, you need to.
I think that is the reason. It's a target number.
Yeah, I've not thought of it, but yes, you're probably right.
See, I've not seen it at all. I don't need people to send me free shit. I know what it's all about. Right, let's do it.
I'll be absolutely horrendous at the game because my target number on polyhedral dice for Border Wars is 4, and I'm rubbish at getting 4s and more. So put that up to a 5. I'm not doing anything in that game.
Even more of an arse kicking for you.
Right, let's do it. Joe Bilton. Sharp intake of breath from Alex.
Yeah.
He put basing tanks into room 101.
He doesn't know what he's talking about.
I think Iain, I don't know where Iain's going to come on this because Iain will be the deciding vote because I think it's an abomination. And
you're an idiot as well.
That these people who base the tanks are, hang drawing and quartering is too good.
Do you base figures?
Of course I do because they fall over.
Yeah, tanks don't fall over.
Tanks don't. Trust me. You're talking to an engineer. You're talking to an engineer here. None of this history bollocks. Tanks don't fall over unless
it's not about them falling over.
Influenced by a large.
It's not about them falling over.
That's Sir Isaac
Newton. Figures don't fall over. They've got little bases on them. Why do you put them on bigger bases?
Well, I think you'll find that Warlord Games French line lancers don't have a base on. And I moaned like fuck when I found out they hadn't.
Well, they're the only ones that you should base. All other figures have got bases on. You shouldn't base them.
Yeah, I did a video review unboxing of the Warlord Games French Napoleonic line lancers, and I haven't released it because I got really, really angry. Because it's like
things are best kept on
they've got like two little. We've got feet, obviously, because the horses, but they've got like a tiny little pad round them, and if you're on a perfectly flat surface on an ice rink, they will stay there. But if you fart or do anything to cause vibration, they fall over. So you've got to glue them to something. So you've got two highly stressed points of contact. I'm getting all engineering here that are just going to break. And then, to make it worse, it says you've got 2 head options per sprue.
Mm-hmm.
You've got 2 bodies per sprue and 2 heads. That isn't fucking 2 head options. It's 2 heads for 2 bodies. There are no options.
But you can swap them around.
It's not an option.
It's a big option. You could get quite a few different. You could get at least 4 different types of horses out of those. Yeah, 4.
I didn't release that, and you can probably see why I don't get anything from Warlord.
I guess
I don't think
the benefit of basing tanks smaller scale, but at 28mm, that's all I play. I don't.
No, I wouldn't base 28mm tanks. Right, the reason I'm going to argue now for the reason for basing tanks.
You're just arguing. That's all.
I'm just arguing. Yeah. Well, the first thing is everyone always says, yeah, but they're on a patch of grass, and when they go into a town, then they're on that patch of grass. So are figures.
Yeah,
figures are on a patch of grass. Makes no difference. It's not an argument. Right, we've rubbished that. That's out. Secondly,
don't tanks go on roads?
Tanks do go on roads, but also so do soldiers.
But would you base a lorry? Would you base a lorry?
Yeah.
Or a truck?
Everything. Base everything.
Or on but when you're basing lorries and trucks that will generally
I based them on roads. Yeah, I based them on cobbles.
You don't like put loads of fucking grass tufts and shit around them.
I based them on cobbles.
Okay.
I've got some civilian vehicles and they're all based on cobbles. So that's rubbish, that, hasn't it? That's destroyed that argument.
No.
Secondly, if you don't base them, the figures that are already on a 2mm deep base are 2mm higher than them, so they look stupid.
Yours,
so you have to bring the figures back up. You have to bring the vehicles back up to the same height as the men, otherwise they don't look stupid. The men are towering over the figures. So that's rubbish. That's second argument, hasn't it? I think I'm winning here, aren't I?
No.
Yes.
I'm just winning by not saying anything.
And then thirdly, when you're storing them,
base helicopters.
Yeah. Because how
they
else
fly?
Are they going to be flying? Yeah, they're going to be on a flying stand. There'll be a flying stand.
Yeah, but that's why are you basing them why are they basing them when they fly?
That's a base.
Yeah, but they fly. They should fly.
Yeah, but you need a base, don't you?
Table.
And they do. on a base, a flying base. And then thirdly, when you're storing them, if you have a base, you can actually put them in closer to each other without chipping the actual models or damaging any of the bits that stick out there.
I have built.
Right, so there you go. 3 reasons.
As an engineer, I have built like a little box with all the inserts, but the inserts are.
Who's got time to do that? Nobody.
Me.
Yeah, you. Because you've got nothing else to do in your life. Boring.
No, because
it's not an argument. Rubbish.
I just sit in my office and wait for the phone to ring and tell me some shit's happened that I've got to fucking sort out. When I'm not doing that, I'm cutting bits of bloody polystyrene out to stick between my tanks.
Right, there you go. There's my 3 arguments for it. So I think everybody listening to this will agree with me. 100% base your tanks.
Apart from Joe.
Apart from Joe, who is now blocked and deleted on Twitter, so I don't care.
And me.
And you're next. You're going next. And Iain.
I'm not basing my tanks.
No. Yeah, see, Iain doesn't base his tanks with a. Because I think that, basing tanks severely restricts their manoeuvrability because they've got to drag that huge piece of earth or concrete with them.
So do infantry.
All the way around the country.
So do infantry. How big are your bases on your pipe blocks?
Yeah,
they're twice the size. They're twice the size of the figures, aren't they?
Yeah, but there's a reason for that, because if you don't do it like that, they end up stuck in your hand. And I've had one of them bad boys 0.5 centimetre into my palm. Fucking, I've still got a lump where it went in. Those bases on the pike are personal protection. They are nothing to do with wargaming whatsoever.
So I think we're all agreed that Joey's wrong and I'm right.
Yeah, but it's still in Wargames Room 101.
I'm pretty sure you said about 10 minutes ago you didn't like arguing about wargames.
No, I don't like arguing about rules. Different. Based on tanks are different.
Yeah, there we go. And then you probably haven't listened to this one because it came out this morning. And that was with Pete Brown from Tag. And Pete's shoved in gatekeepers.
Mm-hmm.
Which you see, I am, as we all know, I am an older man. And things are falling off, etc. But I don't understand a lot of things, to be fair. History being one of them. But I don't understand.
What bases on tanks?
Yeah, people say things like, "Oh, you're gatekeepering, you're gaslighting, you're what," and I don't understand any of it.
It's a reasonably new phrase.
That's why I'm out.
That's why you don't understand it. But I don't know if he explained it because I haven't listened to the episode yet. So I'd come out. I just haven't had a chance to listen to it. But
I kind of get that it's usually older people who are kind of not trying to stop, but standing at the gate and saying, "Oh no, that's shite. You can't come in if you do that."
Mm-hmm.
But didn't we used to just call them twats?
Yeah, I think so.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't get it.
Yeah, well, yes. But the thing is, there's a lot more gatekeepers in stuff like 40k, I would say, than in historical wargaming. Because
them buggers are mad.
They are,
yeah,
aren't they?
This female space marine thing.
Oh, it's really upset people.
What the fuck's going on?
No reason. Yeah, I think somebody. I think a new phrase that they use is tourist to mean somebody who. So it means somebody who isn't invested in it as much as anybody else. They're kind of like just they're wandering through. And I've seen Gary Chalk, who did the original illustrations for Warhammer Fantasy Battle back in 1979 or whenever it was. I've even seen people on Twitter calling him a tourist.
No.
You can just kind of exactly imagine who these people are, when they're attacking him. And you can imagine you've got a picture in your mind exactly of what these people look like. But basement dwellers. But yeah, I think gatekeeping is probably a little bit more prevalent in say 40k or even perhaps a tournament. But I wouldn't even say it's particularly prevalent in historical wargaming. It happens, because you always get people who say, "Oh, those buttons are painted wrong or whatever." But
or your basing's wrong.
Revit counts.
Yeah, well, that isn't realistic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Those kind of people are gatekeepers.
So what's a gaslighter then? Is that somebody who lights your gas fire, or
Yeah?
What's that?
I'm trying to think of the best way to explain this one to you.
What for an idiot?
Yeah, gaslighting for dummies.
Because there used to be that bloke who'd go around and light the gas
light
lamps,
all the
wasn't
lights.
Yeah,
there?
it's basically
That's
somebody who is. Let me try to think. It's basically telling you one thing whilst doing something else, or telling you that telling you you're doing something wrong constantly and kind of undermining you. That's kind of where it comes from.
Like a manager.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm trying to think of a better way to describe it than that, and I can't.
Okay,
So
let's
look it up.
I'll
look at it for you now.
Don't look at it in that Urban Dictionary. Oh my word! There's some dodgy shit in there.
There we go. It's a form of psychological abuse where a person causes someone to question their sanity, memories, or perception of reality. Again, it's not really something that comes into wargaming so much.
So you're sort of saying that you're lying.
Yeah, it's like telling somebody they're doing something when they're not doing it.
So just being a twat again.
Yeah, being a twat.
Right, okay. That's the easiest way of doing it.
Yes.
Twat used to cover so much, now it's broken into all these different versions.
Yeah, I'm not gonna mention what it is, but I was surfing the Urban Dictionary many years ago and came across the word Santorum. Now you need to look it up because I am not going to say what that means on here.
Sounds like something I learned in Latin.
And Super Tuesday Surprise was another one. Oh my word! I'm thinking people think about this. It should be.
Oh gosh.
Some of this.
Have you seen what it is?
Oh dear.
Oh my word!
Well, each to their own.
Woo! Anyway, I don't read that anymore. I just read that bloody.
A bit of basic hygiene wouldn't go amiss, but
I use that. All I do now is read cookbooks by what's his name, Peter Martin, the Yorkshire lad with the big dog. Don't do anything else now. See, the world's too scary for me. I'm going to get fucking gatekeepered and gaslighted and fucking everything before I know what's going on. Santorum. Ah! Right. Anybody listening, do not, under any circumstances, I'm not fucking about here, do not, under any circumstances, look that up on a work computer. Don't look it up when your missus is around or your partner or whoever. Just don't. In a cold, dark room where you can be violently sick on your own. Right. I'm going to take a quick break for ease of editing. And we'll be back in a second with the draw for the World Cup of historical wargame manufacturers. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the draw for the round 1 and round 2 of the World Cup of historical wargames manufacturers. And a special fuck off to the next person who says, "Where are the Perrys?"
I know. I've been looking at them.
I've fucking had 2 of them today. I've even put a picture of the draw up with the Perrys at number 1 seed. Where are the Perrys?
But apparently you're doing it wrong though, Ken. Because you need to have 16. You can't have just 8 because it doesn't work like that.
Oh, it's not like I've done this before, is it?
No.
We had it last year. You weren't on board last year, Ian, when we did this.
I remember it.
We had exactly the same shit with the rules.
Exactly the same.
Where's chain of command? Why isn't Sharp practicing it? Fucking read it.
Brilliant.
Just fucking read it. Anyway, we're here today, ladies and gentlemen, to draw round 1 and round 2 of the Cup. And my distinguished guests have got a bag of balls each. Hey! Alex, give us a rattle. Oh, look at that. It's like the real thing, isn't it? And Iain was telling us a wonderful story earlier on about Rod Stewart drawing the FA Cup in Scotland and being absolutely wankered when he did it. So I'm going to look. That's a YouTube clip that I'm going to look at.
Yeah.
But
Well,
we have a
we're
relative.
similar in that we're absolute wankers.
Yeah.
So we are going to draw round one first, and this is the 16 teams that, 16 manufacturers that have made it through the public vote. And the public vote produced 151 manufacturers and
Wow.
4,748 votes. And the Perrys weren't in it because they were seeded. Fucking hell. So the Perrys are not going to be in round one. Just to make that perfectly clear to everyone, the Perrys are not in round one.
I think you'll have to repeat that at some point. Several times.
We only had one Where's Wargames Foundry, which isn't too bad.
Mm-hmm.
But the Perrys seem to have got the... Anyway, so ready for the draw.
Yep.
Iain, first home team will be... Oh, get the shake.
4.
Number 4, Warlord Games.
Oh, Warlord are in there, are they?
Sponsored by Storm of Steel. Will play.
Number 15.
15, Bloody Miniatures. Already losing a point for swearing. They are the 28mm ECW.
Oh
games,
yeah,
aren't they?
Yeah.
Very nice figures.
Yeah, they have a very
nice
good
figures.
reputation, don't they?
Captain
Do
Blood.
they send you free stuff, Alex?
No.
Warlord Games it is then. Second, the home team is
And it is number 2.
number 2, Empress Miniatures. One of the big hitters in the preliminary round, finished second in the public vote.
They have some good stuff as well, don't they?
They are awesome. Very, very nice figures.
If you like 28mm. Okay, I have
you
got
wanna-
16.
Ooh, Wargames Atlantic.
Ooh.
They finished obviously 16th out of the. But a lot of big fans. That'll be an interesting one, I think. But yeah, Empress, very big scorers. Tie 3. Home team is
Number 8.
the Assault Group, TAG.
Mm.
Good old Pete Brown, latest guest on the podcast.
Yeah.
Will play.
So look, it is number 13.
Steel Fist Miniatures.
Steel Fist.
Oh, that's a Renaissance fluffy shirt off, that is, isn't it?
Yep.
Oh, they're going to be pouncing around, pushing pike at each other for a couple of weeks on that one. Next one. Tie number 4.
It is number 7.
Number 7 is the Plastic Soldier Company. Also did very well in the early doors. Dropped off away towards the end of the preliminary round, but they did very well otherwise.
Well, they're quite specific, aren't they? Really, in their Second World War and Cold War stuff. They don't really have a.
You see, I like that. Plastic Soldier Company. What do they do? They make plastic soldiers.
Yeah.
A lot of people. Does Steel Fist make steel fists?
No, they don't. Number 11. Sorry.
Number 11. Oh, Gripping Beast. PSC will play Gripping Beast.
They've been around for a while, haven't they?
That's a bit of a big one. 4 rounds to go.
It is number 5.
Bacchus 6 mil.
Great stuff.
Yeah, I was doing an interview with an American podcast yesterday, and Pete turned up for his interview early, so we just did it together. It was fucking so much easier.
Brilliant. Can imagine. Number 12.
Bacchus Miniatures will play Old Glory.
Old Glory, a proper old school, aren't they?
Yeah, replay of the American War of Independence there, Britain versus America. Looking forward to that one. 3 games left.
Number 6.
Number 6, Footsore. Great stuff from Mr. Hicks and Mr. Hobday. We've still got 2 big hitters to come out
have we?
for the home.
Okay.
So let's see who comes out to play Footsore.
It is number 10.
Number 10, Bad Squiddo.
Hey.
Good old Annie Norman did very, very well. She was 5th at one point, dropped off again a bit at the end, but interesting matchup there with Footsore in round 1. So two teams left in the pot, Iain, and they're both very big.
Number 3.
Number 3 is Pendraken. Did very well, finishing 3rd.
I'm down to the last 2 of these now, and it is 14.
Battlefront, who, depending on whether they send Alex free shit, will depend on how well they do.
On where they get placed, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not like it's rigged or anything.
No. Does shake the last one?
Take the last one to make sure we've definitely got one there, and this is the tie of the round.
Number 1.
Number 1. Victrix.
I'd shake my bag, but it's only a bag, so you'd not hear anything. There's no point.
Yep.
It is number 9.
Victrix will play Front Rank.
Ooh. Some good matchup there, isn't there?
That is a juicy one. That is a juicy one. Now, just like on the telly, I'll read through the draw as it came out. So, tie 1, Warlord Games versus Bloody Miniatures. Tie 2, Empress Miniatures versus Wargames Atlantic. Tie 3, Tag versus Steel Fist Miniatures in what they're already calling the Renaissance Bowl. I think that's what they do in America, isn't it? When they just have the area and then put bowl after it, like Orange Bowl or tree bowl or banana bowl. Anyway, this is
what are you talking about? This has been going
Super Bowl.
too long.
Super Bowl.
Oh, right.
There you go. The Renaissance Bowl. Anyway, question number 4. PSC will play Gripping Beast. Bacchus 6 mil in the American War of Independence will play Old Glory. Footsore is up against Annie's Bad Squiddo. And then Pendraken will be up against Battlefront. I think that'll be an interesting competition. And the tie of the round, without a doubt, is the number 1 preliminary round seed, Victrix, will be against Front Rank. So that just asked me if you gentlemen could put your balls back in your bags.
One question.
Yep.
Where the hell am I?
Good point.
I'm joking, by the way.
You did do very well. I think you were in the top 20.
I'll take that.
You did do very well. So we are now going to draw the rounds or the ties for round 2.
Oh, okay. So we'd finish.
No. This is
where going out to play teams.
Sorry, I was hoping we'd finish.
No. This is where this is where the fucking Perry's come in, because everyone can shut up about the Perry's not being in it. So, Iain, you will draw the home teams again, and you are drawing which of the top 8 seeds. We then draw the following ball. So, Alex, you can just do 1 to 8 this time. So we will get the winner of such and such will play the seed in round 2. So off we go again, and Iain, round 2.
Right, I've got number 6.
AB Miniatures will play the winners of...
AB Miniatures are great. I love their stuff.
Superb.
Number 8.
Oh, my word. AB Miniatures will play the winners of Victrix and All Front Rank.
Oh, okay.
Number 4.
Skytrex
We'll play.
will play.
2.
Empress Miniatures or Wargames Atlantic. Interesting one.
We've got number 5.
Elite Miniatures. Good old Pete Morby.
Number 1.
20 Monopolies will play Warlord Games or Bloody Miniatures. That's going to be an interesting old school versus new school there.
Yeah.
Tie 4.
Number 1.
Harry Miniatures.
Number 6.
will play Footsore or Bad Squiddo. Tough round for whoever wins that one.
Yeah.
Number 7.
Heroics and Ross, the classic 6mm
Absolute
manufacturers.
classic, yeah. Number 4.
will play PSC or Gripping Beast. That's an interesting one.
Last 2 for me. We've got number 8.
Peter Pig, who were in the seeds because of Alex and Sean, I'd like to add.
Number 5.
will play the winner of Bacchus and Old Glory. So we should have 2 left.
Oh no, yeah, I do have 2
Just
left.
check. Yes, I do. Wow. Yeah. We've done something right, Ian.
Well, we've done all right here.
Number 3.
Number 3 is the classic minifigs.
Against number 3.
Against the winners of the Renaissance Bowl, the Tag versus Steelfish Miniatures.
Last one.
And final.
Don't think you have to rattle the last one, Ian.
I told me I needed to.
You can just pull it out.
Number 2.
Number 2, Wargames Foundry.
Number 7.
Number 7 will play Pendraken or Battlefront. And that concludes the draw for the first and second rounds of the World Cup of Historical Wargaming Miniatures. And the brackets, I think they're called in America, will appear on my website in a couple of days' time. And I'm going to release this tiny little section here as a separate thing. It'll also be in the main podcast, but I'm just going to put it out tomorrow or the day after, just so everyone can see what the draw is. And then from there, from round 2, you can work out on the ladder or the bracket who plays who all the way through to the final.
Cool.
And I think the AB Miniatures Victrix front rank side of things is what Scotland are always in, the group of death. So, thank you, gentlemen. And we're back in the room for the final section, the Ask Our Nora, and we were just chatting there in between sections, and I forgot to mention that there were 9 manufacturers who got nominated that nobody voted for. So if you're going to nominate somebody and I have to type it into a fucking spreadsheet, at least vote for them. And although your mate Jeremy from Basingstoke, who prints your 3D stuff for you, could technically, and we've got fucking very technically, be classed as a manufacturer, nobody else is going to vote for them. Maybe Jeremy's mum and his gran, but that's it. So don't get his hopes up. Imagine if he got through to the top 16 and he got drawn against Victrix. Just fucking destroyed him, haven't you? Victrix, 1,372 votes. Jeremy from Basingstoke, 3. It's like turning up with that fucking big bin on your head and against the against Rishi Sunak or bloody whatever.
Well, to be fair, he's probably got a pretty good chance this year.
Yeah, he's coming to Glasgow, that guy.
Count
Rishi?
Binford.
No, Count Binhead or whatever his name is. He's touring. He's doing some sort of show at Oranmore, I think it is.
If he was standing down here, if he was standing in my constituency, he would definitely get my vote.
Disgraceful. Anyway, it's that time where we answer the audience questions, or we try to, and we've got a shitload of them. And as I mentioned earlier on, normally I put a question out a week before and nobody gives us fucking anything, and then I panic. And then this time I literally all I've done this weekend is podcast. Friday I recorded with Pete Brown from Tag, spent all of Saturday editing it. Sunday I was recording with the 20-sided gamified guys in the States. And then Monday, today, I've been prepping for tonight, getting the World Cup ready, and obviously recording. And I go back to work tomorrow. So it's been brilliant. Apparently somebody mentioned that the sun had been shining, but I've not seen it. So we got questions in from all over the place, and I don't know whether it's I've done them in big type, but there's a lot of them. So if you put a question in after 1 o'clock this afternoon, apologies I've missed it because I finished type the questions out at 1 o'clock. If you put a stupid question in, I haven't put it in. If you put 47 questions in, I've only put 2 or 3 in. So let's see where we go. So I think all of us are guilty for question 1.
Okay.
And this is from Instagram. We're starting with Instagram. We managed to get 4 from Instagram. And this is from TSV90 Danger Ross.
He's a good guy.
It sounds like an ITV show from the 1970s.
He's a good painter.
Excellent. What is your dream Wargames holiday with bonus points if you can disguise it as a family holiday? I've fucking done this loads of times. We've done a beach holiday to France, the Normandy beaches.
We're doing that next year.
Yeah. We've done a forest-based holiday to the Ardennes. And we're going camping. We've got an absolutely lovely lodge in the forest in Belgium, love. She's going. There's a fucking battle there, isn't there? I don't know what you're talking about, love. I think it's near Waterloo. We could go to Waterloo again for the day if you want. That you enjoyed that last time. There's a fucking battle there, isn't there?
Brilliant.
So yeah, anybody else guilty?
Yeah, I do it all the time. No, we're actually going up to Inverness again for camping in July. I'm always going to see Otterburn, but I'm also kind of going, right, maybe I could go up and see some of the other bits. Well, I always got to see Culloden, but I'm like, maybe I'll go and see Otterburn. It's a bit further out. I'm thinking, maybe I could go up and see Moy. There's a wee route at Moy and stuff. I'm like, but I was even looking at doing camping down in the Borders, going down to see. I was like, I could go to Hexham. There's a big prison in Hexham that they used to have the Border Reivers in, and they've got a little museum. I could go to Carlisle Castle.
You know, there's speaking of Otterburn, there's a number of bastles on Otterburn Ranges.
Is there?
There is, yeah. I can send you some.
Yeah. So been down at Otterburn.
Yeah, it's a really good one.
Me and David Emery went down because he was doing his range. I never knew there was a bastle down.
Oh, there's several.
We need to go down again.
Yeah, there's at least 2 that are listed buildings. I can send you some information about them.
That'd be good. But yeah, definitely do it. We're looking at doing Normandy next year.
Oh, it's awesome! We had a brilliant. We got a house in Saint Marie de Mont, which is the next one up from Saint Église, and we could literally walk to Utah Beach, and then you would set off, and then you kind of go in along the front to all the beaches, and We did a Michael Wittmann day. We went to Bocca's Villas Bocage, and it was awesome. Really enjoyed it.
I'm not going to. I don't think I'll get away with that.
No, we actually taught one of the farmers came out of the where he got killed. It was it's not controversy anymore because everyone's fucking worked it out. But where the farm is near where he was killed, and the guy I thought he'd be like, fucking tourist, fuck off, and he was really nice, and he showed us. You can actually see in the wall where they've rebuilt the wall after the Shermans went through it.
Okay.
So yeah, it was a really, really good day out, and then we did Market Garden, Pegasus Bridge, and all that sort of stuff. It was just a fantastic holiday, really, really enjoyable.
Excellent.
See, I'm having to try and put it in with like camp for the kids.
Well, Mrs. Riley has always said that she knows way too much about World War II tanks for a middle-aged woman.
Well, I could probably beat both of you there, to be honest, because we went on honeymoon down to the Dordogne, and remember that bit. The honeymoon bit is the important part here. And on the way back up, we called in at Orador Sur Glen, and I don't know how my marriage has survived because let's just say Claire wasn't very happy about that. Being taken to the site of a.
I was going to say that's the massacre, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes, it's the one that they killed about 600 villagers before they went up to fight in Normandy. It was it the second SS?
Second SS, that's right. Yeah.
And I was like, well, we're in the area. Let's just call it here at this open air museum. So yes. But yeah, I'm pretty much banned from going to battlefields. But I tried to sneak them in here and there. I think Normandy you probably get away with it because at least it's a beach holiday, isn't it? And there's a lot to explore.
I know it did weird me. I know it's what we're on now, 80 years, wasn't it, last week? It did weird me out quite a lot that Omaha Beach was just full of tourists swimming, and as if nothing had happened.
Well, the argument is that's why they were fighting.
Yes, no, I get that, and it's just Omaha seems it's always portrayed as the absolute bloody mess on the beach. So yeah, I get it, but it just weirded me out just slightly.
Yeah, I can imagine. I certainly imagine it. But yes, I mean, at the end of the day, they were fighting for those freedoms. So the more the merrier, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, whether they were fighting for very large French ladies in too tight swimming suits to be jaunting along the beach, I am not sure. But each their own.
As long as they're happy.
They clearly were. They had cheese and baguettes and red wine, and they were very happy.
God,
it was good day out. So, second question from Danger Ross. The opposite of Route 101. What would you like to see more in the hobby? I would like to see people who can fucking see Perry miniatures in a picture.
I'd like to see more bases on tanks.
Come on.
Fucking start a fight in an empty room, you.
What would I like to see more of? More effort at shows.
From
display games.
You're not getting at me there, are you?
No, not you. Just when when you go to a show and somebody's put on a game that you just see at the club, and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Why did you bother?
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I don't put games on, because I don't think mine look as good as anywhere near as good as.
Just do.
No, I'm not like humble bragging there. I'm just saying, like
I know.
I look at the ones that are on display, and I think there's no way my stuff wouldn't match up.
Yeah.
The pluses and minuses to it. I'm very much of the opinion I've paid money to get in. I want to see the best, but then I can understand that it's encouraging people to start putting games on by putting something on. I hope that those people see the standard. I put my game on at Partisan, and I started thinking, oh, what could I do to, to bring it up? Even though you saw me massive fucking 9-foot high banner, didn't you?
Yes.
No. Yeah. You couldn't fucking miss it.
Absolutely.
It was I couldn't put it up until they closed the door because I was tacking the table up and down the fucking room because it was that windy. So just things like that to make your game look better. And I think if people take that on board at shows, then the whole hobby will just get better.
Yeah,
and better and better, won't it? So yeah. So excellent. That was quite easy one. Steve Taylor 8637. Whose brother Steve Taylor 8636 didn't put a question. It is. Is it? No, not it is. It is it. I can't even read now. I think we might have touched on something similar before, but we'll talk about it. Is it okay to wargame the current war in Ukraine, and when is it okay to put a conflict on the table?
Personally, I'd say no. Not while something is current, not while something is happening. I find it a little distasteful. And I know there's a lot of people that play like modern stuff, and there's people that are doing Afghanistan and things. I mean, it's like 20 years since Afghan, and the Gulf Wars were 1990. But to me, they're still too new. I feel, even the Falklands War, I think that is still too new. I think if I can remember it in my lifetime, then I think it's too new.
Veterans I've spoke to seem to have different perspectives on it. I think some of them are quite pro recreating it in memory of their friends, whereas others just don't want to even look at it. And I currently work with people who are Gulf veterans and Afghan veterans as well. And some of them are quite open about their military experiences, and some aren't. So
same here. I work with them in work as well, and same. Yeah. Some are very open about it, but I just think for me, from my point of view, it's personal. If somebody wants to play, then that's fine. But I don't know. I'd have a bit of a slight side eye for like Ukraine at the moment. I think because it is something that is happening
here.
Yeah, and it just feels a bit. Yeah, just at least let it end.
Yeah.
People are being killed as we speak.
I'm coming to Modern Warfare for the second time. I've played it before, and I didn't enjoy the experience. Played Afghanistan. I didn't. I played the Radio Dish Dash game. I didn't enjoy the experience playing it. I was getting quite annoyed because I had friends and stuff that fought there. Yeah. But recently, I'd seen like the White Dragon modern miniatures, the Afghan stuff, the British, and I loved them. So I got loads of them now painted, and I'm looking at coming back to playing the game. So I was looking at those contact front rules, and they're actually written by ex. It's a guy who was a veteran of the war, so I kind of see it. But I'll play it and see how I feel about it again. So I'm not too sure, but I fully agree with it. The Ukraine one, I'm not too sure how I would look at that as a game.
I think professionally, it will be being wargamed in many military headquarters throughout the world.
Yeah.
So it's but there's a different aspect there, isn't there? They're doing it to work out tactics and what's going on, etc.
That's professional. They're looking at it from a modern war point of view, aren't they? As how to fight a war. We're pushing toy soldiers about on the table. Huge. There's a gulf of difference.
It is an interesting. But I remember in the 80s we would do a lot of what's now known as ultra moderns. We would do a lot of Cold War,
gone hot,
East-West Germany, all that sort of stuff.
The difference is that, but that never happened, did it? It's a what if, it's a fantasy. Whereas Russians and Ukrainians are fighting at the moment, and people and civilians are getting killed at the moment.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a massive difference.
Tough one. I wouldn't castigate somebody for doing it.
No.
But I wouldn't do it myself.
Yeah.
I think that's the easiest way to say it. But I mean, I remember, late 80s, early 90s, we had a guy who came to work in the secret American airbase that isn't anywhere near Harrogate, that doesn't exist. And he came along to the club, and he was a Vietnam veteran, and he was all right with it. And I thought that war and its memories and its legacy would, for many people, put them off if they'd been involved. But he was absolutely fine with it. So, yeah, horses for courses, different people will see it in different ways.
I think you mentioned it there, but I think my cut-off point would be Vietnam, because I don't remember it. It had finished by the time I was born. So, I think that's pretty much my cut-off point for playing games about it.
I was 4 when it ended, so I'd like to say, for all the people on the internet, I wasn't involved in starting it. I didn't have any involvement in the end of it. And if you look for Perry Miniatures, they were on top of the embassy, and they left on the helicopter.
They were the first off.
Number 1 seeds. That's why you can't see them, because they're first off in the helicopter. Right. Quite straightforward one. Just a quick answer to this one, I think. T-Paint at 64, last one from Instagram. What period do you think isn't supported well enough by the hobby industry, rules and figures, etc.? I think we've answered this one before, haven't we? Alex is going to say World War One.
Yes, World War One.
Yeah, I can get
Iain is going to say Border Reivers.
Well,
no, Jacobite Rebellion.
Jacobite Rebellion. There's nothing specific for that.
Yeah. And in their own ways, Ian's put that right by setting his own figure range up, and Alex by just fucking banging on about World War Two all the time.
World War One, not World War Two.
World War One. Sorry, I'm thinking of that one. What's that one with goblins in?
That's the World War One. That's the First World War.
Have you seen that bloody trench crusade thing?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
God. It's another.
As you said, mate, what as if World War One isn't interesting enough.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. It just drives me mad. But there you go. What can you do? What can you do?
It's got Crusaders and all that, isn't it? Like Templars and stuff.
Yeah, it's I think it's like a crossover of Warhammer 40k and First World War, isn't it?
I think basically what they've done is very similar to our World Cup of Historical Miniature Manufacturers. They've done a World Cup of Historical Periods, drawn out Crusades and World War One, and gone, right, that's a fucking brilliant idea for a game. So next week it'll be Vietnam Ancients. I don't do a World Cup of Historical Periods now for that, because I've said it now, haven't I? And there'll be like spawning figure ranges everywhere.
Alexander get to Vietnam.
That's Pakistan, didn't he? Definitely.
Yeah.
And anyway, right. So there's all those villages full of blonde-haired kids still, isn't there? It's just amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
Is there not these ones out? There's not ones out in China that have got like Roman features and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. Absolutely. So it's either Alexander the Great or alien abduction. Depends whether you watch Ancient Aliens or what's that bloke you like?
Oh,
Alex?
Graham Hancock. Yeah,
Graham Hancock.
My favourite.
Oh, he comes up with some shite. He comes up with some shite, that lad.
Oh,
is that the ancient civilizations guy?
Yeah, it's absolute nonsense. Utter nonsense.
Did you just go completely off topic? Yeah. Did you see him on? He did a podcast with an
Joe
actual.
Rogan. I don't know him, but my wife knows him. Flint Dibble.
Right.
Yeah, they're friends. They were at university.
They gave him a big kick in.
He did, absolutely, because he brought evidence, which Graham Hancock doesn't have.
Oh, fantastic!
He has feelings.
Fantastic.
Yes, it's worth watching. The full 4-hour thing. It's well worth watching.
Yeah, I've watched probably an hour and a bit of it.
Yeah.
A bit like my podcast. There's a thing called a pause button, and you can listen to it in chunks instead of moaning on the internet. Oh, too long. Too long. I can't
go
listen for
back
that
to these
long.
things.
I can't concentrate for more than 5 minutes because of my ADHD. Pause button. Twitter, Andy Shaw. Hi, Andy.
Hi,
Good
Andy.
lad. If you were given, this is quite a good one actually, I like this. If you were given a young acolyte to train in the ways of wargaming, figure collecting or painting, where would you start their journey?
First World War.
I'd start their journey in Pudsey because that's where I am. And if I'm training them, they need to come to me. It's all right, audience. You can fucking laugh in 20 minutes when you get it.
Yeah, I've definitely get them involved in painting, enjoying painting. That's probably where I'd start.
Would you? I think I'd start on gaming actually, providing the figures for them, painted figures for them.
Yeah, probably at the same time. Have them painting and showing them games at the same time.
Yeah, it just feels like, if you're just getting someone to paint something, they're not seeing the end result, and it's going to take a long time to get them to that end result. Whereas if you play a game with them and then you say, oh well, you kind of now got to paint these figures, and that's another part of the hobby.
Yeah,
that's probably how I'd do it.
I think it's harder today with the not having the immediacy of painted figures. It takes time, it takes patience. Whereas you can download Call of Duty 97 or whatever is the latest version and play that in 20 minutes after it's downloaded. 20 minutes you might get the base colours on a figure. So I think it's see what they're interested in, isn't it? Are they, if you put them on a 12 by 6 table with 1,000 figures, are they going to be overawed or inspired? If you give them a game of 10 figures on a 2-foot table, are they going to go, oh, this is fantastic and be really engaged? Or are they going to say, a bit small? Whatever pushes them on and whatever floats their particular boat. So I think it's an individual thing, I think.
Yeah. There's no point forcing your own preconceptions onto somebody else, is there? Let them find their own path.
Unless my kids come to me and ask me they want to play 40k.
Then what? You're washing your hands of them. You're done.
That
get out of my house.
Good point. Good point.
Kick them out and change the locks. You're gone.
Exactly.
You're not a child of mine.
Thankfully, my lad's drifted. He drifts in and out of 40k, but he's more into role playing stuff, D&D, and he does a bit of I can't remember the other system that he uses. But yeah, he's drifted in and out of 40k. I've tried to keep him straight, but we get
one of my friends. He plays a lot of historical games, but it blew my mind, and he told me about 30k. And I was like, what the fuck is 30k? I was like, what? I don't even play 40k. What the hell's 30k? Telling me all about it. And I was like, what the hell?
Duncan W. Wargate. We only got 2 questions from Twitter. They were too busy. This question came on, and instead of asking questions, about 14 people answered this question. Which is not how it works.
That's not how it works, is it?
I ask you for questions, we answer them on the show. You don't answer them when you're not on the show. What is the ideal number of manoeuvre units, elements, sections, platoons, companies, battalions, ships, divisions, whatever, depending on scale or game of battle, for an individual player to control in a game? Is there a sweet spot?
I don't know. I've never really thought about this. This is Duncan Weldon, BBC presenter, economist.
Well, he should know there's no answer then, isn't there? Because economists are they just fucking make shit up. Anything can be right. It's the worst than historians. They just fucking they go, oh well, if you raise the interest rates, this will happen, and then but if you lower the interest rates, this will happen. Yeah, but we're not. We're talking about raising the interest rates, not lowering them.
Mm-hmm. And we're talking about manoeuvre elements as well at the moment, not economics. So
I would say a core, 28 mil, a core.
But how many manoeuvre elements is that? Just saying a core. Because you could be playing a core level game and it could just be one element.
No, I do proper wargaming. I have one unit.
You don't base your
for
tanks
one
on
one unit, for one unit. I don't have a base representing a division or a brigade. I have individual units as they were done historically.
I don't know. This is. I saw this question. I can't really picture it. I can't think of how many units would be a sweet spot. It's never something I've ever thought about.
I've played in big games where people haven't turned up or they've been missing for a couple of hours, and I've tried to I know they said run then. I've tried to work at a couple of core in Napoleonic, so say 60 units, and that was difficult to do. But 30, 35 as a core, that's what I'm used to. So I don't really have a problem with that.
Yeah, I'd probably say somewhere probably around about 10, I would have thought.
Yeah, so I'm just thinking, that game of Ogre we had a company, which is...
Well, you got 3 companies, each one's made up of 3 platoons, each of three sections. So, 9 elements in each company? 27 in total, plus any supports. Yeah, so you're right, about 30, yeah. Yeah, I'd not thought to it like that. But each of those sections are operating together, so you're getting 3 operating together generally.
Border Reavers, Ian, that's more of a individual thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
so how many figures would you?
10 figures.
10 figures.
So 10 for you.
But no, it depends on what you like.
It depends on the level of the game, doesn't it?
Yeah, I like when playing big games. I quite like it when there's a number of us on the same side and you're controlling and you've got a good number of units, but it's spread across the whole table and you are kind of working together, conversing together, coming up with ideas on how to go forward with the game rather than being. I would probably get lost if I was trying to control 60 units. Just be like, I'm on my way home.
Yeah, think about it like that. Yeah,
I think it kind of that got a little bit too much for me. But then it was only for a short space of time, so I suppose it depends as well what you're used to.
Yeah, that's true, isn't it?
That makes a big. And then I will tend to these days. I just tend to make the units bigger, have less units but more men in them.
But yeah, I mean, if all you play is skirmish games with 5 figures aside, and then suddenly you're thrown into a big game where you've got 30 battalions or something, then you'll be floundering pretty quickly, I think, wouldn't you? So yeah, it's completely down to the individual and the game that you're playing, the level of game you're playing.
Very good. Onto Facebook Messenger now. We had a couple of questions from Tai Lun, and they were extremely long, so I'll try and shorten them. Needs an editor, this lad does. Right. When getting into a new period and painting another nationality, do you start, this is one for Sean, he's not here, listening to music from that period or from that country, eating and trying food from that period and from that country, and would you give up your full English breakfast for a new cultural, historical breakfast from that nation?
No, not really.
I didn't follow any of that. I'll say that again.
I'll do the Ken version. When you're doing a new army, do you get into the country of that army? So, like, if you did a Bavarian Napoleonic, would you start wearing lederhosen and going around slapping women's arses in Morrison's?
No. Short answer.
Some guys do though. Like you've seen the guys at Partisan and they get right into it with the costumes and stuff. And I've seen guys at the Deep Fried Lard. They played an Indian mutiny game, and one of Angus Constam turned up with a bottle of masala for everybody to drink. Anytime the Tiffin cards were coming out, it was like, yeah, masala.
No, I don't think no. I don't get into it that much.
Yeah.
I mean, we go on holiday to Italy a lot, and who doesn't eat Italian food now? It's not like it was in the 1980s where spaghetti bolognese was the height of culinary delight. Everybody eats Italian food now, so it's just not. It's not.
My wife's Italian, so
Yeah, yeah. I just don't get it. People immerse themselves into different levels, but at the moment, I would have to be wearing. I don't know. I've got Narvik on the go, so I can have a Royal Navy peak cap on. Then I've got my Italian wars on, so I could have like a chest plate and a pike. And then I've got my back end. I'm finishing off bits of the Risorgimento, so I could have a pair of red trousers on.
Nottingham Forest shirt.
Yeah, that's where Garibaldi. That comes from Garibaldi, the Notts Forest shirt. And the so I could have like an Italian medieval seafood fusion thing going on, maybe.
I may get into like one part of the question was like the movies. Yeah, I may get into some movies of the period. Yeah, not so much the music, but yeah, definitely music. Movies.
I mean, when Sean was on his Mexican thing, Alex, we listened to a bit of Mexican music on the podcast, didn't we?
We did, yeah. We certainly did.
And I still get flashbacks from that.
Yeah, I don't think I don't really get into the the period, or the country or whatever it is. I mean, I'm painting Vietnamese stuff at the moment. I'm not running about in black pajamas and a VC Viet Cong hat, just to get me in the mood. I'm just painting stuff,
You're playing a lot of Rolling Stones, bit of Doors.
Actually, well, that's a fair point. Actually, I've on my Spotify, I've been listening to quite a few Vietnam themed playlists and
bit of Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Yeah, absolutely. Fortunate Son intensifies.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there we go. Yeah. So there's a little bit
on occasion, yes.
On occasion. And the second question from Ty: if you started as an Airfix Generation wargamer, which I certainly did, given modern primers, paints, and varnishes, the paint would have stopped flaking off. So would you return to that 20mm gaming, even if you just promote it as a cheaper entry level into our hobby? Not sure.
Yeah.
There's a bit of nostalgia there, I have to say, and I recently picked up this.
Oh, the Airfix World War II Wargaming magazine guide. Excellent.
£12.50. I haven't seen it for fucking anything less than £70 for a long time.
Wow.
So I am going to try and play a game with this.
Oh, okay. Using those actual rules.
There is actual rules in the back, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And have you not got this?
I've had some of the other ones. I don't think I've got that one.
Classic of its time. Look at that for a penetration table.
Wow.
Look at that, A's and B's and D's and C's and these ranges and oh man. So I'm gonna try and play. I am. I'm going to try and play a game with that. But I don't think I go back to the Airfix figures. But I've built a few Airfix kits recently that on the basis of nostalgia. I got the HMS Fearless model, the one where the landing craft come out of the back, just to paint up as a nostalgia exercise. And I've also bought the big Bentley, the 1/18 scale Bentley, but I don't think I'd like to go back into World War II gaming with the Airfix stuff.
I don't think I'd do it, but it might be. We were talking about an entry level of getting people started in wargaming. I think it'd work for that, wouldn't it? 50 figures for what, less than a tenner or whatever. You're laughing, aren't you?
Is that how much a box of Airfix figures are now? I've got no idea.
Me neither, actually. Let's have a look at it. I don't know how much they are.
Did you miss out on the Airfix generation, Ian, or were you?
No, I did. I collected them. I wasn't necessarily gaming with them, but I definitely collected them.
Yeah.
What was the figures I recently bought? My son. Was the one 50mm World War II ones?
Oh, the 1/32.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got him them for Christmas, and it was the paras and the stuff.
Yeah, I've just found World War II British Infantry, 176 scale. So there's going to be about 50 figures in there, isn't there?
Yeah.
£5.39.
Yeah, bargain.
So, you can't say fairer than that, can you? You can't get any figures cheaper than that, I wouldn't have said.
No, and they will be the same moulds and same.
Oh, they'll be 1960s ones, yeah. They'll be the old classics.
Superb. Nostalgia-wise, I mean, it'd be a nice, fun thing to do maybe for a one-off game, and it wouldn't cost you much to get into it. Maybe I'll do this with them if it's going to be that cheap.
That would be the way to do it, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do it with the old school rules, old school figures.
Yeah, I'll buy a Sherman and a Panzer IV.
Yeah, and base it.
I'm not basing it. What?
You'd have to base the figures.
Bruce Quarry there, just holding that up to the camera,
Yeah,
not based.
Yeah, well, what does he
His
know?
gun crews aren't even based.
His day's gone.
Look at that. He's based his hill. And he's put his windmill on the hill. Is that basing? If you put a building on a hill, is it basing?
I guess it is, yeah.
There's a question.
If
you put a tank on a hill, is it based?
Yes. As long as it's on a base.
But then you'd have to move the hill then, wouldn't you? We need to do like the Zen Buddhism guide to life. We need this in wargaming, don't we? And we need to have like questions, like philosophical questions, like if a tank is on a hill, is it based? And then you can
ponder them, can't you?
You can shave your head, sit there, fucking get your own mantra and your little dingly dangly bells.
You don't come off the mountain until you've found the answer.
Exactly. You'll be there at parties and somebody run in, air everywhere, stinking to high heaven, going, "No basing! I have seen the light." Probably not. Anyway, we're now onto Facebook and on the plastic. What are they called? Plastic Crack podcast. We're missing the last 10 minutes now. Matt Williamson, bless him. Hi, Matt. Do you walk battlefields, and is it important to walk battlefields? Do you get a better understanding of a battle by doing so?
Yes.
And apart from money, what is holding you back from doing it?
Yes, and the distance is involved. So,
I suppose what battle you want to walk, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. The ones I want to walk are the ones that are far away.
Yeah, I've got one, an English Civil War battle, and fucking life of me, I can't remember what it's called now. But it's like 20 minutes walk from my house.
Can't
remember what it's called. But yeah, add Walton Moor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, an English Civil War.
No, I think it's incredibly important if you've got any interest in military history, because looking at maps just does not cut it at all. You don't get the sense of the folds of the ground. You don't get the sense of the way things look. And I know, quite a few battlefields have changed, obviously, over the years. But so let's say, for example, Waterloo. I was there in September last year. And I've read about Waterloo since I was knee high to a grasshopper, but I'd never been until last year. And the sense that you get when you're standing on the Allied Ridge, no matter how many times you've read about it or you think you understand it, you just don't, you don't understand. You can see that, like a Quatre Bras, for example, you could actually hide an entire, almost a corps of cavalry in the folds in the ground.
Yeah,
you can see how far they could get so close to the British squares without being shot to pieces. So you get that idea, which just doesn't come across in any historical accounts or any amount of map study, I think. So yeah, it's something, if you want to understand a battle, it's imperative that you actually stand on the field that it was fought.
Yeah, I think it's huge in terms of when we're gaming. A lot of it we don't factor in. Though I've certainly walked a lot of the battlefields in Scotland, some of the ones down in England, but it's like that whole way that you're at one side of the battlefield, you can't see the other side. We never really factor that in our games.
Yeah.
You know,
We've got the eyes of God, haven't we?
yeah, well, it's like as soon as it starts, it's like, right, cannons are all going, and we're all hitting, and you're just like, yeah, but probably wouldn't have seen them.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, what looks like a contour line on a map could be, something that is a serious defile in the ground that you just literally can't see into, or it's dead ground. You literally can't see it.
Walking from La Belle Alliance up onto the English Ridge at Waterloo, that kind of made me realise. And again, standing at Hougoumont and look, and it's nowhere near, the ridge is nowhere near as big as it was because they knocked it down for Lyme Mound. But it's quite a steep rise. And, walking in my holiday gear, carrying a few drinks with nobody shooting at me.
Yeah, it's very different, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very different from being in a column of 600-700 men.
Absolutely.
With all your kit and some bastard trying to kill you, it makes it a little bit different. But yeah, Waterloo. But another one for me was we were lucky enough to go over to the States many years ago, and we did quite a few battlefields over there. And the sunken lane at Antietam. You stand in the sunken lane and look out at where the Union came from, and you think, you never in a million, you would have to literally run out of ammunition for the Union to get anywhere near it.
Yeah,
it's just an absolute, if you wanted to define killing zone, that was it.
That's it right there.
That was it. You couldn't do. And Burnside's bridge is tiny, and you read all these things about all these men trying to get across, and you think, it's hard enough getting across when nobody's shooting at you. And on the Confederate side, there's like a wooded ridge that overlooks it, and it's like almost like a coliseum looking down on it. So you could have skirmishes every 3 or 4 feet at different levels, just firing onto it. So yeah. Culloden's another one, Ian. It's
you can't see from one side to the other. Yeah. But it's one of the ones I always remember that I've been a few times was Flodden. And you stand and you're at the Scottish section, and you're like, oh, this is a really good position. Like, and then you read on, you're like, they came off here. Why? What? They came off the hill, right? We walked down this way. Oh, right. So that's why they all got killed, right? Cool. It's the same at Dunbar. Dunbar's the exact same. Huge hill. And you're like, they came down. Oh. That was stupid.
Yeah. on the Somme at Beaumont Hamel, was attacked by the Newfoundland regiment on the first day of the Somme. If you look at it, you look where the German positions are. If you're standing where the Newfoundlanders' trenches are, you look down on the German positions. They're down below, but the first German line is actually below. But then you look beyond it, and they've actually got 2 tiers of line behind it. So you've got your front line looking up the hill, but then you've got 2 tiers of line behind it overlooking the position as well. And also when you stand on the German position, you look up at the Newfoundlanders positions, you see, because there's a lot of people, visitors going, they're absolutely silhouetted against the bag skyline. So they've got to climb up and over. You can just, it's obvious why there's so many casualties, because they're literally just a shooting gallery. You've got 3 lines of German trenches firing machine guns into you and firing at people on the skyline. There's no wonder they didn't get hardly any feet forward. And you don't get that. You don't get that from any of the accounts, and you really just have to be there to see that, to put that into perspective, I think.
Because that was, what was the one on the Somme, the HLI? Was it Leipzig Salient? It's a big wood, and I remember seeing that, and that was, I think it was a HLI attacked that, and when you see it, you're just like, what the fuck? Just like how, because it's just a wood, and it had all the German machine guns in it, and they tried
dug
to
into the front.
Like, what the hell, man?
Yeah. There's a lot of places like that on the Somme that it really makes it just, because it's hardly changed as well in the last 100 years. there's been very little development in that area. So yeah, it's you can just stand literally on where the trenches were, and you can see exactly where the enemy are and how easy it is to be hit as well. So yeah, it's imperative.
Cool. I think we're all on agreement with that one. Dave Benton, what is the one thing that makes you say, what the fuck? And question the judgment of other wargamers?
Weird War, First World War.
Yeah. I was going to say getting into Weird War stuff.
Yeah.
Weird crossover stuff is so strange.
That's stuff that the PCP does. The snails and the
god, yeah, the turnip 28.
Turnip, yeah. Not for me.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned earlier on, my friend leaving me loads of stuff, and he was into weird shit, and he's left me. I've got a load of what's it called? Something Normandy. Actung Cthulhu. I think I might have mentioned this before.
Oh yeah.
Woo! Mind blowing.
I've been thinking about this because this is one of the things I think about because there's a bit of a running joke down at our club that I won't play fantasy stuff, but whenever I played Arkham Horror, the lads are going, "Oh, playing fantasy," and I say,
it's not.
I say, well, it's not really because it's historical because it's 1920s, isn't it? So it's historical. But the thing is, like with that, all right, you could say, okay, it's weird war, whatever. But the thing is, putting Cthulhu into the Second World War. The Second World War itself is interesting enough. The reason why Cthulhu in the 1920s is so frightening is because it's in domestic situations.
Yes.
Yeah. They're in people's houses. It's in just a normal everyday life. It's not when something else interesting and extraordinary is already happening. It is the thing that is extraordinary and interesting. So that's how I justify it to myself.
That's reasonable. I mean, we all try and fool ourselves sometimes, don't we? With
we do
bits and pieces. And I've had a brief look through some of the stuff, and it's just weird. It's like Nazi slugs and
I just don't get it. It's like why is that more interesting than a Panzer IV or the different types of Panzer IV? To me,
exactly.
It's
not. Yeah. Who doesn't love a Jagdpanther?
Exactly.
If you're going to pull chicks, you're going to pull chicks in a Jagdpanther. But dressed as it's like weird spiders and.
To be fair, though, I don't think I'd like the chicks I'd be pulling if I'm in a Jagdpanther. To be honest.
Oh, I'm not talking. I'm not
women I probably want to avoid.
Let's get this right. I'm not talking about like being in the German army in World War II and pulling chicks. I'm talking about driving down the seafront at Magaluf and impressing people with my sloped armour. I'm not trying to impress them with my political ideology. I'm just showing off my sloped armour and my big gun. I think that'd work.
That's fair enough.
I'd always play down the German bit. Oh, interesting one. John Sowerby, what's the worst rule system you've ever played?
Oh, God.
Oh, okay, now. Can we say and be honest?
This could lead us into all kinds of...
It is.
We could get cancelled for this.
Oh, I'm probably going to... If I say Soldiers of God, I'm going to get cancelled, aren't I?
Yeah, I think you are.
But we just couldn't get on with it.
He did say played, so...
I have played Soldiers of God. We were looking for a set of Crusader rules. We like Deus Vult. They're quite a really good set of rules and they're very period specific, but they have this fucking weird mechanism where only one side fights in a melee.
Right.
So if you get the initiative, you get a free hack basically on your opponent, and if they survive to their initiative, they fight you. And it just we couldn't get it. So we tried Soldiers. We tried Soldiers of God, and it just did not work for us at all. I think we tried to do something too big with it, and we just felt, although we enjoy friction quite a lot. We just found that, I don't know whether it was the way the cards drew, but we played it 3 times and we both
Just
had the
didn't go
same
with it.
problems every time, and that you just couldn't do anything. Not that you were restricted, you literally couldn't do anything most of the time.
I didn't enjoy Many Would Be Kings when we played that straight. We changed a lot in it to make it more interesting. So initiative, for example, we turned it into a chit pulling system for initiative.
Yeah.
So a bit like Sharp Practice, where you had different units were numbered and you'd pull the chit out and the chit was a number. I didn't like it as it was, as the game came. I know it has a lot of fans, but yeah, I just didn't get on with it. I felt it a little plodding, I think.
Iain, do you try a lot of rules, or do you tend to stick with what you're good at?
I probably try too much, and that's probably one of the biggest. Is moving on to different games all the time, and that's when you're saying what games do you not like. It's probably play a game and then go, I don't really like it, and just move on and don't really think about it. And it can be like, speaking from, I never liked that game Saga. Could never get into it.
That was another one I didn't like. Yeah, I played that twice, just could not get on with it at all.
Yeah, played it a couple of times at the club, and I was like, I didn't enjoy it. So I never ever went back to it, and just kind of moved on, put it in that I'm not going to go back there pile. So
yeah,
there's quite a few in that pile, but I just kind of forget about them and move on.
I think, for Saga, for me, I don't know if it was a combination of not really particularly interested in the warfare of the period.
Yeah, same.
And what I perceived the rules themselves being, like I said before about that 5 for victory. It's a board game trying to be a war game, and I just felt you spent most of your game looking at your board.
Your battle board, yeah.
Yeah, your battle board, and trying to work out what the best thing was from the dice that you'd got. And I just thought there's a much easier way of doing this than doing it this way around. But again, it's got massive fans. Loads of people love it. So who am I to say it's good or bad?
Agree.
We tend to stick to rules, so I'm not.
I do.
I don't flit around a lot, and I don't try new sets of rules, and I don't buy. Some people buy new rules, don't they? And kind of like collect them. And
I like reading rules. I like reading new rules.
Yeah.
But yeah, sometimes you can kind of read them and you can see how it's going to play out if you play enough rules. I'm the same as you though, Ken. I have my favourites. I'm sure most people could probably tell what they are if they watch my channel. But and I kind of stick within that realm. But I'm not running after the new shiny rules basically.
Yeah, I have found. I've tried a couple of board games recently of the SPI type, and I found those very, very difficult to get my head around what the rule. I got the Vevictus one on the. Helicopter's coming over. Somebody's stolen a car down the road, obviously. The Italian Risorgimento, and I've found that quite hard to get into even what I'm supposed to be doing, never mind ever.
Yeah, I think you have to have a particular mindset, don't you, for those kind of hex and counter games. And it's not something I'm interested in at all. I like board games, but not those board games.
yeah, exactly. So there we go. We've libelled ourselves a couple of times. Nobody mentioned bolt action, so we're all right for now.
I've only played it about twice. And yeah, I wasn't bothered about it.
Yeah. Matt Williamson back on the Facebook stalking us. Do you upgrade your armies to better figures?
Yeah. Ooh. I have done.
Yeah. What was that?
French Indian War. But I'd say that I've done it with World War II recently as well, with the new Empress British Airborne.
Right. Yeah, because
I wouldn't necessarily say it was an upgrade, but I've already had loads of figures, and was like, I need new ones.
Yeah, I'd probably add more to the existing ranks that I've got, rather than let's say, right, I'm going to get rid of these 40 and replace them with 40 others.
Yeah, I'm with you, Alex. So what I tend to do is the older troops go further back.
That's right. They're in
And
the
have a
bottom of the box, not at the top.
Yeah, so they might come out for Leipzig, 3-day Leipzig, but other than that, they're not required.
Yeah.
And I have got to the point now. I've decided 30,000. That's it. So I am selling off some bits and pieces here and there. Some of the old stuff that I'm not going to use again. So and I haven't done that for a long time. So yeah, and I passed some figures on to Iain not that long ago.
Yeah.
Some 28mm ECW Irish that I wasn't going to use. So yeah, I'm doing that sort of thing and culling here and there, but I don't think I've ever deliberately replaced a unit.
I've done it.
My Scots Greys are still the Scots Greys I painted when I was 12,
Yeah.
and they are 15mm Hinchcliffes, and there's
Mhm.
more history in those figures that I wouldn't want to get rid of.
Yeah.
With a new beautiful 18mm AB figure.
No, absolutely
Scots
makes
Grey
sense.
regiment.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's been a couple of occasions where maybe I've started a project, like I got a load of 1/300 scale Second World War aircraft for Bag the Hun, and then
Yeah.
realised they're actually a little bit too big, so I got rid of those and got in a load of 1/600 scale. But I wouldn't call that a replacement because there was an overlap, and I was kind of experimenting with them, and it was I just thought they were too big, so get something smaller that fits. So that's it's not really a replacement. It was a complete change of scale rather than anything else.
Cool. Right, we've been going for an hour, and we're all older men, and we're getting a little bit tired. So we'll go a little bit quick fire from now
Okay.
on, unless we
One word
come across
answers.
unless we come across something that we are really angry about.
Yeah.
So because I don't want to, a lot of people put questions in. I don't want to kind of ignore them. John Sowerby, fucking Ian's in trouble with this one. You're challenged to death in a game, Ingrid Bergman style. What period of rule sets are you playing? Not your own.
Period of rule sets.
I would, while other people are thinking, I would have to go with my own World War II naval rules because they're my rules.
Yeah. So inside out.
So if I want to bring out version 2.3 halfway through the game,
you could add it in.
I could add it in, and they're my rules.
I would probably go. To be honest, I'd probably go with Chain of Command just because it's the ones that I know the best.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah, Chain of Command's a good shout.
Yeah, and there's so much you can do with it. Like there's lots of little things, bits and pieces that can help you. So I think I'd go with that, just because I'm so familiar with it.
Nothing to do with Border Reavers, Ian. You're not gonna.
No, I'd lose.
You just kill yourself there and then before you start. Dex McHenry. Hi Dex. Our game's more fun if it's easier to pass a successful test to do something, i.e. passing on 7 on 2d6 or rather than 8 on 2d6. So I suppose
four
on
Border Reavers.
Can too much friction make it put you off? Puts some people off, doesn't it? Any friction puts some people off.
It does. Some people hate it. The more the merrier, as far as I'm concerned. Keep piling it on.
Yeah.
I love it. So yeah, well, it's a rules mechanic question, isn't it? Really, that one. I saw Dex's question. I was thinking about it because, say, like O group, for example, that is a 7-up on 2d6, or it is a 4-up on a d6, and it makes that bit very simple when you're actually just when you're shooting or you're trying to call artillery in or whatever. But the O group is about the command.
Yes.
And what you do with commands and orders.
Yeah, it's rather than the technical aspect, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So to me, it doesn't matter. 50% of a hit makes no difference. When because she's so abstracted. And it's the same a little bit with Chain of Command. It's 4 up to hit at close range, 5 up to hit at longer range, effective range, and it's the same thing again because the technical part of it is not, for me at least, isn't as interesting as the maneuver and the command aspect of the game, and I think that's so it doesn't bother me that much either way. I'm
So your rules, Bud Reaver rules, Ian's. Then is it success? Do you have to roll for a success to do?
You do, but there's rules in it to try and make it like you can still get to do things, especially within certain ranges. You're not, there's no enemies within over 12 inches kind of thing. You can kind of do like walk movements. You can't do anything else really, but it allows you to at least get moving. And I wanted to make sure that was a thing, because I know when we did the first set of rules with the Street Wars of Gangs, there was times that it was sometimes too hard for people. It just wasn't, things weren't happening. And I do like things to happen, not necessarily all things. But yeah, I do like at least get moving is what I like to try and make sure is happening on the table.
Yeah, it's a fine balance, isn't it? Friction, and some people like none, some people like a lot, and it's finding a sweet spot for selling your particular rules, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Richard Scott, do you see a trend towards smaller scales for gaming, i.e., 10 mil? Not in this house.
I don't see it because I don't have that. I'm not involved in looking out for it, kind of thing. So I don't really see it. No one I really know does it, so I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
I don't really know anybody that does. Yeah, I don't really know anyone that plays 10 mil, 15 mil, 6 mil for sure. A few 3 mil here and there, but yeah, not so much 10 mil. So I don't know if there's a real trend for it. I know there's, it's a nice way of playing some games because you can, you it's a lot of figures on a smaller table, but I don't really think there's a particular
I think those, certainly those who I know who do 10 mil do it really, really big. It's like a cult scale in when you're into it, you're really into it, and you're selling all your possessions and buying 10 mil books and dancing around effigies of Pendraken and stuff like that. It's
things like Epic are probably I've seen people getting into that probably would never have, and I would never have seen them playing at that scale. So I think that's probably kind of got a little bit of a trend towards smaller stuff. I don't really see much more than below that.
Robert Schumann, top 3 albums to listen to while painting. Obviously, when you're not listening to a podcast.
Yeah, normally when I'm painting, I'll listen to a podcast.
Yeah,
or a YouTube video. I like people talking in the background. So I don't really listen to music while I'm painting. But I'm trying to have a think about what my top 3 are.
I do like music when I'm painting, but it's probably not. I'm actually going to see them tomorrow night. I'm going to see Green Day, so.
Oh, bit of Green Day.
Is it?
Yeah. So Green Day Basket Case would probably be my number 1. The Dookie album.
I'm going through a bit of a mid-period Genesis thing at the moment. After Peter Gabriel left, and there was just 3 of them before they went all poppy. So Wind and Wuthering is one that I'm listening to loads at the moment.
Okay.
A little bit of prog.
Well, recently I've been listening to a hardcore punk band called Zeke.
Okay.
That's the latest thing I've been listening to, and
are they like the Dead Kennedys, but with more attitude?
Yes, a lot faster, a bit more like Motorhead, in fact. Motorhead and punk, really good. Right. But I only found out about them the other day when I went to a gig, and somebody was wearing one of their t-shirts, so I looked them up. And also I'm listening to Hank Williams III as well, the country singer.
Fucking, that's a change.
I'm eclectic, nothing else.
Is Hank Williams doing versions of Buzzcock classics or?
No, it's his grandson, Hank Williams III, the third, Hank III, and it's country outlaw stuff. So it's like
very good.
Like again, hardcore country, I guess. But yeah, that's kind of what's been on my Spotify most recently.
The next question we don't need to answer because it's already been answered. James Cutts asked, "What's the airspeed velocity of a laden wet pallet?" Mark Ogilvy answered, "It depends how hard Ken throws it at you."
Yeah,
and I really don't think I can do any better than that.
Yeah, how far you can throw it out the window.
Exactly. Rob Goodfellow, do you prefer to take tests using just 1 or 2 dice, or do you prefer the bucket full of dice method?
Depends on the situation. I do like a dice ball.
Yeah.
But I also like, sometimes just to roll that one dice and see what happens.
You see, I came from a 2 dice or an average dice even background, and then I came across Grand Manor, and there was guard cavalry in melee charging 57 dice or whatever, and 6s hit, and it's just so you're kind of doing this to try and get all the dice onto the table, and then 3 of them roll off, and one of them ends up in Hougoumont, and you never see it again. And
that's why you have a dice tray.
Yeah, but I kind of need a dice pig trough, wouldn't I, with 57 of them?
Well, you just roll them in 2.
Speaking of dice trays, have I still got yours?
You still have got mine, yes.
Oh fucking hell! Right, I'll have to. I haven't opened the box that they're in. I will.
Listeners, this is the 3rd time that he's told me he's getting them to me, and he's had them since Partisan.
Yeah.
No Salute since Salute in April.
Right, listeners, let's just get this right. I borrowed them or lent, depending on which part of the English language you go from Alex for Salute, and Alex left without collecting them
because Ken was still using them, and I had a train to catch.
Let me finish the story, young man, because I then took them to Partisan for you to collect, and they were on the end of the table for you to collect, and you just walked off, didn't you, without them?
Because you didn't mention them until there was a photograph of them and said there's some dice trays there. 2 days later.
You were too busy trying not to interview me.
Yeah, true.
Ah, dear me.
I'm terrible with buckets of dice, so I always feel as though you get so excited with so many dice, you get bought into the possibilities. You're like, yeah, and then when you roll it, it's just sheer disappointment. It's just like, how? Like law of averages says that is impossible, and
yeah, not good. Simon Stokes. Hi, Simon. Alcoholic drinks whilst playing your war games, banned or get another round in? I'm easy, but I don't drink when I'm playing. But
I don't drink when I'm playing because I'm usually driving down to the club, and I don't really drink in the house, to be honest. So yeah. If somebody wants to drink, as long as they don't get pissed out of their heads and they smash my figures up, I'm not bothered.
Yeah, that's a war games argument, isn't it? With a pissed war gamer.
Yeah.
I fucking did 5.2 bastards. Mind you, with steel pikes.
Yes, there's a lot of damage that they can do.
What is the most John Kersey? What is the most frustrating aspect of wargaming, and how do you overcome it?
It's finding time to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Just finding time. How do you overcome it? Make time.
Exactly. Fuck that Einstein bloke with his relativity and his.
Just make your own time. Yeah.
Just make your own time.
Just get invited on podcast, my club night.
Ooh, you should have said it.
Yeah. Turning up at 10 o'clock in the morning and going, I've just made some time. So, no, you haven't. You're working an extra hour because you're fucking late. Doesn't work, does it? I try to block out frustrating aspects of gaming.
Yeah.
And just I think, how do I overcome it? I just fucking ignore it. You know, I'm up to that age now where I'm just so fed up with politics and all the shite going on in the world. I just don't fucking pay any attention to it anymore. I have enough sorrow and heartache following Bradford City that I just don't need anymore.
Yeah, it's a hobby. It's meant to be fun. Why?
Yeah.
Why put up with if something frustrates you, if you don't like it, just don't do it.
Yeah.
Do another part of the hobby that you enjoy.
Exactly. I mean, we've got a general election coming up in the UK. They're all twats. I don't care. I've been ruled by all of them, and they're all useless idiots. Bring back Charles as absolute monarch, and just get on with it. There you go. Make life a lot easier because you couldn't moan, could you? You couldn't go, "Oh, I don't like." Head gone.
Yes.
Have you seen Dad? No, he was complaining about the car parking charges and they've cut his head off. Oh, right, very good. What's for tea? A lot better way of running things. Glenn Hargreaves, is it better to be wargaming in a club or wargaming at home?
A little from column A, a little from column B.
Yeah.
I like it at home because you don't have to go. You don't have to travel.
And you don't have to pack up straight away.
Yep. But I like it at the club because it's nice and sociable.
I find myself more focused at a club because maybe I've got a time. Whereas at the house, I'm a bit more relaxed and just tend to chat.
Yeah. The game goes to one side a little bit, but there's less to clear up as well. Yeah, at home. That's the other thing. To leave it out till the next morning.
Yeah, one of the big themes about the tag interview was putting away. Pete, his definition of a big game was one that took more than an hour to put away, which I thought was quite a brilliant version.
Yeah, it's a good measure that, I think.
John Horner, gravy, curry, or sauce on your chips? He's missed out peas.
I'll go with curry.
I like curry, but I like gravy as well.
All Southerners going, gravy on chips? Oh my god! Oh my god! These barbarians. No, I think we mentioned last time. I did try sauce. Last time I was up in Scotland.
Oh, yeah.
You don't get it in Glasgow.
It was just over the bridge, Edinburgh thingy.
It's an Edinburgh thing, salt and sauce.
Yeah. I saw Gordon Brown. I don't know if I mentioned. Saw Gordon Brown. Okay. He was. We just went out for a drive. He's got a house in the village. I did wonder what all the security cameras and the Range Rover were two burly-looking guys.
Where were you? Were you in Kirkcaldy?
No, I'm going to tell you in a minute when I find it. I thought it was like Russian mafia or something.
So he's from up Kirkcaldy. No. He's from Kirkcaldy.
It was. Oh, it's not giving me the name now. North Queensferry.
Just across the water. You've got South Queensferry, North Queensferry.
Yeah. It's got a house just on the cliff there. Very nice. Because I was driving on, when I just went, fuck me, that's Gordon Brown. My missus went, fuck, you been drinking? It was like 10 o'clock in the morning. I said, no, it's fucking Gordon Brown. And she looked round and she only saw the back of him, but saw his wife and recognised his wife. So it was definitely him. It wasn't just me. Very good. Very good. Martin Kelly, question for the crew. Currently painting a 40-figure, or proper size, 40-figure 28mm 1813 Saxon Chevalier Regiment. God, that's a whole army for some people. Not 12 figures either. Good lad. I'm painting all 40 figures together. Would you paint them that way or break them down?
Break them down.
I'm a batch painter. I'm a batch painter. 6 to 8 at a time.
15mm, I'd probably do 40. But yeah, no, 28.
I'm looking forward to seeing your 1813 Saxon Chevalier very soon. Jeffrey Smith, which sculpting side do you prefer, actual proportions or larger than life proportions? So I'd say Perry's are actual proportions, and then larger than life where they're a little bit chunky, but they do look all right.
Actual
for me.
I like a little bit chunky.
Easily likes a bit of chunk. Likes a bit of chunk in his trunk.
Something to get hold of.
Oh dear, there's the fucking. Well, it's gone ages ago, didn't it? The monetization.
Yeah.
Jeffrey again. Do you prefer a set of rules that favours the technical aspects of a period over the rules which are more narrative based?
Narrative.
Technical. Jeffrey Smith, pile of shame or opportunity?
It's a pile of shame, and then I go and look at it and I still see opportunities.
Yeah. Opportunity. But mine's very small anyway. That's what all the girls say.
Yeah.
Although I have got some Wargames factory 28mm chariots, and they are a pile of shite.
Not shame or opportunity.
Not shame or opportunity. They are a pile of steaming turd. And I keep looking every now and again. Must be every 3 or 4 years I go, you know what? They really can't be that bad.
Mm.
And then I go and look at them and they're worse. So anybody wants some, you can have them. Right. How many have we got? Fucking, we're never going to get through all this lot. We're never going to get through this lot. We'll give it 13 minutes. What we can't do in 13 minutes, we're going to do.
All right.
George Breeze. Is it an outrage or travesty that Airfix didn't qualify for the first round of the World Cup? Surprise.
It's not a surprise at all, to be perfectly honest. Nobody uses
nostalgia. Them. I thought nostalgia might have brought a few votes for them. Cool.
Who uses Airfix, as we spoke about earlier? Nobody.
Yeah, potentially me now. With that project you've just fucking pushed me into, you big bully. How have you ever played Little Wars TV rules? And did you enjoy them?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
I played the Viking. I played the Viking one once.
I did watch a video of them doing
Raven Feast.
It was American Civil War battle. Can't remember what it was. I think they're going to be a little bit too abstracted for me because the brigades on bases, aren't they?
Yes.
And it's
Yes, I played those as well. I played Greg's what's it called? Ultra Freedom.
Yes.
I very much enjoyed it. Some nice mechanics in them.
I've not played them, so I can't really comment. Jamesy Moggsmates, what do you think has been the biggest changes in historical wargaming over the last decade?
3D printing.
Yeah.
Utubes.
Mm-hmm.
YouTube and 3D printing.
Yeah. Round dice.
Absolutely.
Oh, when you listen to the Pete Brown one, do you remember Bob Connor from Tabletop Games?
Mm-hmm.
He was the first person to import round dice into the UK.
Oh, really? So got him to blame for it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he passed away a number of years ago, so we can't shout at him.
Right.
But yeah, I have found patient zero.
Is it patient 1 to 6?
This is a long one. Right, I'll have to fucking. I haven't got my glasses on. Chris Collins. It's probably a perennial question. It is, Chris. But how do you maintain the fire and motivation to build and paint? Love the hobby side of gaming, but there are days when I just can't be arsed. I'll paraphrase there. And if tasks are outside my comfort zone, they sit neglected. How do you overcome the painting funk?
Just don't worry about it.
Yeah, I just let it wash over. If I'm not painting, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it'll come back. It'll come back.
It's a hobby, not a job. Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Unless Warlord Games are pushing you to get some content out.
Box openings.
Box openings.
That's content.
Box openings are easy though, aren't they? Because all you do is fucking open the box.
Yeah.
And then go, oh, look what's inside.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look, it's figures.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it says French Napoleonic Lancers on the front and they're French Napoleonic Lancers inside. I am surprised.
The thing is, you say that, and I agree with you to an extent. However, I still watch them because you're interested in what's in something.
Yeah.
See what the contents are. That's what it is.
Shall I do an opening of
World
Fix
War
World War II
yeah.
Wargaming Bruce Quarry? I'll do an opening.
Do a flick through. That'll be good.
Flick through. 1976. Were you born, Iain?
Nope.
I was 2.
Alex, you were 2. I was kissing my first girlfriend behind the bike sheds.
1983. I was born.
Blimey.
Right, we've got 8.5 minutes to go. Simon Skinner, we're given that. Right, questions shorter. we're given that 2 more or more manufacturers have recently set dates for the end of their current businesses. Do you see the state of wargaming in 5 or 10 years? So, are all the manufacturers going to close and we're going to have a completely different industry in 5 or 10 years?
No.
We
just, Iain is making metal figures and he's 10 years younger than me.
Yeah.
It's getting
so
harder.
There's going to be but there's going to be somebody who'll be younger than you, Iain, doing it.
Yeah.
Things will change, but people will still be making figures. It'll still be going on.
Yeah. And a lot of those companies that were around still being manufactured. The companies have been bought up by somebody else.
Yeah.
Very little disappears completely.
Yeah.
And if it does, it's usually a financial thing rather than a can't be asked to put it out thing.
One of my sculptors spoke to me with a fear. He's a 3D sculptor, and his fear is that he's only got a couple of years more of 3D sculpting because he will be replaced by AI.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Well, potentially, but you're still going to have somebody to program that AI, I guess.
So way beyond my knowledge. I don't even know what a fucking gaslighter is. Kit Kimball, what do you think? What do you think of the future of historical wargaming shows in the UK?
What's the future of them?
Yeah, I mean, I've got to say that I'm a little bit mixed because I think Salute Partisan were better attended than they've ever been. But I look at some local shows, pictures of, and I don't know whether it's just because the pictures are taken in the afternoon, maybe when it's died down a bit, but they look very sparsely attended. And we've lost some great shows like Triples and the Derby Worlds. So I think it'll just evolve and change.
Yeah, of course it will. Well, the thing is, though, every show, you say they look sparsely attended, and then they're not. I mean, I went to, Partisan, the recent one, and
yeah,
I got there half an hour after
that and Salute were packed.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think they were their record numbers as well this year for both of those. So it shows a really healthy hobby. I mean, we had the pandemic, but people are coming back in droves, I think.
Yeah.
So I don't. Small ones will disappear, new ones will come up. It's just never an evolving thing, isn't it?
That's small ones always disappear. That's what we say. What was the attendance like at the Falkirk show? Ian? Was it
was pretty good. I don't know if it was as much as it's been in the past, but yeah, it was pretty good. It's kind of as a show, it's kind of getting busier. It's probably the most busiest in Scotland now, probably more than the Edinburgh one.
Wow. Might have to give that one a go one year. Neil Wright, is wargaming meant to be as historically accurate as possible or a much more fun version of chess?
Up to you.
Up to you, yeah. I prefer the more historical side of things. But there's plenty of people
I love a shitload of tables and loads of fucking graphs and bollocks, but nobody else does. Just me. Right, I have to do this one because he challenged me to pronounce his name. So this is from I'm going to go for Wim van der Berg. I'm only saying that because he's a Dmitry Vanderberg who plays darts. So I reckon I've got it right. What is the worst range of figures you've ever started an army with? And what's the best or nicest range? My first 15mm Napoleonics, I had some Mike's models, and they were bad. They weren't as bad as Peter Lamming. If anyone has seen a Peter Lamming figure, if you haven't, look it up on the internet.
Okay.
Peter Lamming, 15mm. Effectively, he had one mould, and if you asked for like 56 British Crimean infantry, he'd send you 56 figures from that mould. If you asked for 56 Middle Imperial Romans, he'd send you the same 56 figures.
I think some of the worst ones I've had were irregular 6mm Romanians. They're like little mushrooms. And I just couldn't use them because they've got like the Adrian helmet, but they'd really emphasise them. So they just look like these little rows of mushrooms. They're probably the worst. Best? I don't know. Probably a toss-up between Peter Pig and maybe Battlefront, maybe.
Yeah.
But again, 15mm stuff.
I personally, my favourite are still Perry's miniatures.
Number one.
Iain.
I'm trying to think because I don't really like getting into the whole bad mouthing other companies when I'm one.
Slag them off, mate.
Nah. Purely for the detail, one of the ones is that I really struggled to paint was I don't know if you ever had them as Reaver miniatures.
I've heard of them, and they came up in the World Cup of Wargames manufacturers.
It was just some of the details. It's mostly the details on the faces. I found that with some of the readout ones as well in the English Civil War. Probably very old sculpts, so I kind of struggled with the faces when I was painting on them. It's probably the biggest thing. Favourite, probably Empress. It's probably some of my favourite figures.
Yeah, there's some great figures, Empress. We've only got 3 questions left, so we're going to do this whatever the timing says, unless we massively fall out over one of them. Dave Benton, this is going in the pot for the world's stupidest question after the which is the best version of Only You, Flying Pickets or Alison Moyet. So, if you were all pizza toppings, pick one other of the group and say which pizza topping they are and why.
Oh God! Stunned silence.
I think I'd be a lime because I'm bitter and twisted.
What about pineapple? Because
I was going to say pineapple because he's Bradfordshire.
Yeah, got a bit of pineapple going on it. Pineapple and tomato. Can't think of anything blue that you put on a pizza for Iain, but there we go.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what would
Alex's camera's not fucking working.
Haggis pizza. Yeah, that'd be typical.
Yeah. So the Alison Moyet version was my particular favourite. Steve Evans. Oh, Alex, you might set off on this one. I've been playing a lot of Too Fat Lardy Sharp practice lately, and I'm really enjoying it, but I'm a bit frustrated with the layout of the rules. Is it just me, or have you found this an issue with the Lardy rules?
Personally, no. This is one of those things that comes up, and it's not just about Lardy, it's about anything, any rules. And it's everybody learns completely differently. So what is difficult for somebody to read is really easy for somebody else to read. And it's completely subjective. I like them. I like the way that they're laid out. I like the kind of chatty way that they're written, and I find it harder to get on with somebody like Dave Brown's rules, where they're written more like a report because of his background. And it's harder for me to tease the rules out of them. I prefer Richard's writing when it comes to those two. Yeah. So I don't think they're laid out particularly difficult. I think they're laid out pretty well. They're laid out pretty intuitively from my point of view. But then that's just my point of view. Somebody else will read it, like Steve would go, I can't make head or tail of this.
Yeah, I think they're laid out, as you say, in a more conversational style, and they're much more open to interpretation, and they wouldn't work as a competition set.
No, that's because that's not the way it is.
But then that's not what I'm kind of looking for in a set of rules. So
yeah,
I mean, I have only ever played If the Lord Spares Us, and that's a long time ago that one was written. But that was quite well written out. It's before the days of colour photographs and loads of diagrams and shit. So I got my head around it. And as we learned earlier on, I'm a bit slow when it comes to stuff like that.
But yeah, this is something that always comes up, and it's not, like I say, it's not just about Lard, it's about any rules. There's always somebody who says, oh, it's really bad. Because I read Black Powder, I didn't like that at all because I found that language far too flowery. I know what they were trying to do, but they were using like 3 paragraphs when literally 2 sentences could have done the same thing. But they're trying to make it like a 19th century novel or something.
I mean, the thing with Black Powder and all those rules for me is the disappointment of paying a fortune for a lovely glossy book and then getting effectively 6 pages of rules.
Yes, but stretched out to about 40 or 50 pages of flowery language. Whereas, like, at least with Two Fat Lardies, they're chatty, but they are quite direct. So but again, some people like to read those kind of rules from Black Powder. So again, completely subjective. Do
you put loads of flowery bollocks in your rules, Ian, or are you straight to the point?
I try to be direct. I've got quite a good editor as well, and he can kind of keep me in line.
Make it concise.
So I sometimes I can over explain, and he's like, "Yeah, just do this," and shortens it right down. I'm like, okay, I can see. I've seen that complaint with the Lardy stuff a number of times, but sometimes I can find myself having to read it a couple of times, but then you can get your head around it. It's too difficult to get around it, or sometimes just having ask somebody, what do you think on this, and they'll explain it. Well, yeah, cool, I agree. But it's one of these things. Everyone has different preferences, don't they?
Absolutely.
We can all say one thing's the way to do it, and
I say it's just everybody learns completely differently, don't they? They learn things totally different. They read things totally differently.
Final question: what's the most Mark Trowbridge from the fucking hell? I've got to say this before I go on. Facebook Historical Wargaming Miniatures page. I had 12 comments, of which 11 were, that's a nice figure. Where did you get that from? Because I always like to put a picture with, because I'll put a picture of King Baldwin IV with his silver mask and everything in front of my juice. What I need to do is put shit figures up, isn't it? Because people are going, I like your Kingdom of Jerusalem figures, and I'm going, read the bit of the shit at the top where I'm asking for questions. So out of 12 comments, 1 was a question, which wasn't where are those figures from. And it's Mark Trowbridge. Well done, Mark, for reading the
actual post.
The actual post. Congratulations, Mark. If I had any stickers or T-shirts or something, I'd send you one. And it's a crap question as well. I think he knows because he puts, I know. But what's the most memorable battle you've ever played?
Oh, God.
I've said mine before. It was a game of Waterloo we played in my friend Sean's dad's outbuilding. We had fucking table was groaning under the weight of figures. We must have had about 4 different scales on there, and amazing. And Napoleon got killed leading a charge, and
just like the film.
The French just melted away. Well, I didn't want to say anything, but Ridley Scott came to me and he said, I've got this thing where Napoleon leads the charge. And I said, well, I've done that a couple of times. And I said, well, it must be true then. I said, yeah, it is, mate. Just go for it. Nobody will notice.
The only one I remember is, I've mentioned it before, is the one with Sergeant Thompson in the Malaya campaign. He's the guy that I remember the most.
That was a cracking one.
Yes, but yeah, in general, I don't really remember games once I've finished them. You know, and play each week, so I kind of, they kind of meld into one after a bit, don't they? A little bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, difficult to.
I'd say for the project alone was the Marston Moor game with David Emery.
Mm.
Yeah, that was
one of my favourite battles.
Anything involving David's figures.
Yeah.
He's a fantastic. I had a good chat with him at Partisan. Massive fan of his work and his games that he puts on. It's absolutely top notch. Absolutely top notch. Well, chaps, we've mullered that one. We've slagged off football teams. We've slagged off internet connections. We've slagged off rule sets. I can't remember. I've probably slagged off a few other things as well. But there we go. I think that's what people tune in for.
Hope
Absolutely.
so.
Yeah,
if you honestly want to listen to serious war games chat, there are so many podcasts out there that just. And we're going to have a deep dive into these rules today. And Iain, what do you think about the second paragraph on page 4? Would you have put a picture of a red dice there? I personally would have gone for a blue dice. So yeah, you're not going to get that here. Gentlemen, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me, as usual.
Yeah, thank you for having me again, Ken. It's a pleasure as always.
Well, I'll try to send you some dice trays through the post, not some dog shit. I don't want to get it mixed up with my opponents, but but if I don't, I'll definitely bring them to Partisan and don't fucking leave them on the table.
Oh well, I won't. I will remember this time.
Are you coming down to the other Partisan, Iain?
I'm going to try. I'm hoping to get down.
Excellent.
It'd be great to see you again, mate.
Yeah.
Good night, everyone.
Okay, doc. Thank you.
Good night.
Well, thanks very much for listening. I hope you enjoyed that 3.5 hours of war games chat, if you can call it that. And we had a great time. I hope you enjoyed listening to that Brews in the Binyard, and hopefully we'll have Sean with us next time at Christmas to fill us in on what he's been doing on his wargaming front. I have not got my next guest booked in as yet, though I do know who it is, but I'm all very superstitious about announcing things until I've got them recorded. So I shall announce that when I've got it in the bag, so to speak. In the meantime, the 2 episodes I did with 20-sided gamified podcast from the USA are out now on their Podbean or Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts from. 20-sided gamified podcast, you will find it. And on the second episode, Pete Berry from Bacchus turned up halfway through, which was quite amusing. So we just did our episodes together, and as you know on here, Pete is a friend of the show, as they say in the States. So if you're not giving that podcast a listen, give it a go. And Jay, the veteran wargamer, has started up again, which is lovely. Jay was the first person or the first podcast wargaming wise that I listened to back in the day, and he's into some weird stuff, is RJ, but it's lovely to see him back on the air again, and I'll be tuning into his podcast very soon. So I hope you enjoy your wargaming until we meet next time, and I shall get something recorded and out to you probably in the next 3 or 4 weeks. So until then, see you.